What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel from a rainy North Texas, coming at you here from the V1 HQ. How is everybody today on Victory Monday? Yes, indeed, it is Victory Monday. Had a fantastic weekend of the football, or hand egg as my Europeans like to call it, but football here in the US of A. Al W, what's up, man? I was wondering if you were going to join this stream. 7-0 undefeated Horned Frogs. How you doing? Keep it moving. Excellent. Love to see that. Great game there, Al. Coming back from behind, gotta love it. We had a New York Jets victory over the Denver Broncos. I was pulling for Russell Wilson in the beginning of the season, but now I'm all about just Broncos going away. So we got to celebrate. We're going to rub it in a little bit today. We're in a JetBlue A320 in a real-world livery. The New York Jets livery. We're going to take off out of Denver. I was going to stick around here and do a couple of touch and goes and bang up the airport a little bit, but I figured we'd best just not rub it in. Let's just take off, head down to Dallas, Fort Worth. We'll celebrate here in Texas. We got rainy conditions here in real life, so I'm hoping the sim will come true. We're running real weather, real time. Wow, did you guys see that guy riding the Ghost up here? That was pretty interesting. But yeah, so this is what's in store for today. I've been flying, been busy, missed you guys. Jeremy, good to see you, my friend. A Digital Merc is in the house. Good to see you, dude. Blue Mac, Sparrow 67, Robinson Santana, what's up, man? David Edwards, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Fubar's also in the house. Flying with Mike, Ivar Lundy, Liam, many more is also here. Good to see everybody, man. I can't possibly get to all 152 people already showing up for the stream. I love it. Today's going to be a great day. We're going to also work with a little MEL. I say little, but an MEL situation that I had on my last flight where I felt bad for the FO. I mean, he was working hard to stay up to speed with getting the airplane started, and we had a cross bleed, but then not only did we have to cross bleed, but we had to do a manual start with the cross bleed. So there's a lot that we're going to get after today, but a little bit, I wouldn't say longer cruise, traditional cruise, about 90 minutes or so. Flight time down to Dallas Fort Worth. So I hope you guys are ready to come along with me today. Sounds like we got some other airplanes spooling up here around the terminal. I'm over here at Alpha 22, I believe. It says American Airlines on here. I think I missed my gate by one. Oh well. JetBlue American Airlines merger here first. But Jamie, what's up, man? Good to see you, my friend. Haven't been on stream in ages. DJ Douglas, what's up, man? Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually streamed myself too. It's been super busy, man. If I'm not flying, I've been super busy at home. There's a lot of stuff going on right now as we enter the fall holiday season. Just crazy busy. So I'm glad to get some time out of my day, hang out with you guys. LW, thank you for the continued support, man. How about them TCU Horned Frogs? Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. 7-0. Great game, great victory. Love it. Benny, thank you for the continued support as well, my friend. 23 months. Man, do we have any 36-month members? I think I have a new emoji for 36 months, or a new badge for 36 months. I have to see if we get anybody there. But we'll see if it works out or not. But looks like our airplane is getting catered right now. Mika Morgan, excuse me. Welcome, Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board. Exclamation point, welcome. Have I had my pumpkin spice latte yet, Jeremy? I've had multiple pumpkin spice lattes. I've actually made one this morning from home. Love it, absolutely love it. So right now I just got a little black coffee right next to me here, a little black coffee and some water, and we're going to get through the stream together. Howdy, Chief Alfie Douglas. What's up, man? Good to see you, man. This is like a reunion. It's been, I don't know, what, over a week since I've streamed last, so man, I feel like we're just doing a reunion here. Looks like Denver Center is online. Good to see it. Let's go ahead and fire up this airplane here. GSX is doing its thing, and then we will load the aircraft again. GSX is just kind of there to be there for extra visuals, so we'll see what we got. But battery 1, battery 2 is coming online. We got ground power already. Let's go ahead and power up the aircraft from the GPU, and we're going to be using that heavily today on this departure. Just that last flight I did. You know, it's supposed to be one easy leg. I think we were going Dallas to, was it Orlando? I have to look. Can't believe I forgot already. 4-day trip, long trip, but it was supposed to be an easy day on day one, and it was anything but easy, my friends. I had a stellar FO. He was sharp as a tack, and just he was on it. Made my life so much easier when you fly with real sharp FOs. So couldn't thank him enough, but we're going to go over a little bit of what we had to deal with. on this flight, as well as we power up the airplane. Screens are coming to life. I'm getting text. I'm getting spam calls. FWC is powering up. Gotta love it. Ryan Linker coming in with a $10 super chat. Ryan Linker, man, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, sir. Your content is top notch. Just wanted to say you are an important part of this community, and I appreciate what you share with us each week. Ryan Linker, I can't thank you enough, man, for that support. That's very, very kind of you, very generous of you. Thank you for that, and I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I love putting it out, and it's fun, man. I love getting back on live, and everyone's here, happy to learn, happy to stream, happy to see the Airbus flying around, so just good vibes all around. Cheers to you, Ryan. Roberto is also in the house. Roberto Soriano, the man, the myth, the legend of Throttletek himself is here. The stream would not be a V1 stream without the Throttletek center pedestal. Had it fired up here, ready to go. It's just the little blue. It's really dark here in Dallas because overcast skies. So you can't really see it on the camera, but I got a nice blue tint kind of glowing from my center pedestal. Absolutely love it. We're going to be rocking that today as always. Looks like we've got a little bent camera situation here. A little bit of a, let's see if we can straighten that puppy out. There we go. So we're going to be rocking that. All the celebration chats. Oh my goodness, I can't even keep up. I'm 4 months short. What's up, man? Good to see you. Who was that? Was that Andre Henry? Good to see you. Just noticed my new badge. Keep it up. Digital Mercall. 13 months. Thank you so much. 3 months. Thank you with you, ST and Javier. Welcome, Private Pilot. Welcome back, sir. 6 months. Man, you guys are awesome. I can't even, if I sat here and we said hi the whole time, we would never get off the ground. We got a lot to do. So let's get the airplane powered up first, and then we'll talk a little bit about what needs to get done. I don't know why we have all these messages right now. We'll deal with that in a second. Let's go ahead and hop up to the overhead. Let's go cruise supply on, ground control, CVR test. Your amended call sign is Jets, Jets. Exactly, man. Hell of a game on Sunday. Absolutely terrible that we lost our star running back for the season, which is just absolutely sucks. But it is what it is. No smoking on, emergency exit light, arm that, landing elevation auto. Pack 2 is off because when I got to the airplane, we had Pack 2 off. I had a bunch of orange stickers up here, so we'll get to that in a minute, but Pack 2 will be off for this flight. Looking up, everything looks good on the normal electrics. We'll do fire test 1 and fire test 2, and oh my goodness, we have a massive membership donation. Callie Simmer is at it again with 10 gifted subs. Guys, if you pick up a gifted subscription from Mr. Callie Simmer, please give him a thank you, shout out in chat. Callie Simmer, thank you so much, man, for your support on the channel, dude. If you guys just pick up a membership, make sure you check out the latest shorts videos. I always put them out for my members. You can kind of see what I've been up to when I'm out flying the real line, and had a pretty cool one. I thought this last one I did was pretty cool with the lightning and thunder. We were deviating, doing some heavy deviating out over the Bahamas and over the Gulf. No, not the Gulf. Excuse me. Over the Atlantic Ocean on our way out to on that trip that I just got off. I think we went. Where did we go? San Juan. We were at San Juan at some point. We were in New York at another point. We were in Florida, and then we were in Dallas. Just all over the place, man. The Callie Simmer, thank you so much for your support, my friend. Appreciate you. How's the barbecue going, Paul Shoesmith, man? I always get tongue-tied when I say that. It's going great, man. I fired up some spare ribs yesterday. Absolutely awesome. I think I'm going to do some chicken thighs tonight. We're going to lighten it up, do some chicken thighs on the smoker when I get back home. So thank you for your support, my friend. Alexandra Vinet. Oh, my goodness. This is just, if you guys haven't already, just smash the like button for the good vibes we got going on. I haven't even told you all the broken stuff that we have to deal with, and we just got so many good vibes in here. So smash down that like button. Alexandra Vinette with the 20 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much, man. Here is a $10. You said 10, but it says 20 on there. So either way, I can't thank you enough. That's a massive donation. Appreciate you. From Montreal with my Frenchy accent. Have a nice flight. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. Alexandra, thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Very, very kind of you. Montreal, great place. Love Montreal. It was in Montreal or Quebec. I can't remember. One of them I had one hell of an overnight. I got to tell that story on the podcast. I want to say it was Montreal. No, maybe it was Quebec City. I don't know. I don't know my Canada geographics very well. Maybe we have to do a tour up there. Either way. All right. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the airplane booted up because we're just going to, I keep saying that, but we're going to be sitting here all day long. So, Atsu, let's do flight init. And let's get our flight plan in first. So let's do that. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do maintenance-wise. So I don't think I can actually Let's go manual failures here, and that's normal. I don't think I can actually defer because maintenance had shut it off, so it wasn't a fault light, so I think we'll be fine. I actually don't think we have to do anything here, which we're not going to, except keep random failures on. Let's make sure. I don't think I've flown this airplane, so we'll do all type of failures, and we'll do realistic. Store as default. Cool. So there we go. I haven't flown this livery, but now we got liveries or failures on, as well as what we're going to deal with. Let's come back to initialization. Go ahead and pull it in. Here we go. Roberto says, V1, we are back on track with production. Please thank you guys for the patience, but these things are custom made and we take a lot of time in the details. Awesome, Roberto. So guys, if you are here in chat right now or you're here watching the video live stream back, if you have ordered a Throttletek, Roberto says that they are back on track with production. And he thanks you for your patience. They take their time getting all the details right. And it is, I won't say it's a one-man show, but it's a smaller business, and they are absolutely put their time and work into the products that they put out. So you're going to absolutely love it when you get it. Good to know we got an update that everything is back on track. Good to hear it, Roberto. Looks like we've got a nice American 321. Is that 321 next to us? Yes, indeed. CFM, wrong engines on there, but... All right, here we go. Today we're operating as JetBlue Flight 357. Let's do that, and we're going to do cost index of 99 because we are getting out of here. Cruise flight level today, I believe we're filed at 370. That is set. Let me check my flight plan. Yes, indeed. We are filed at 37. That looks good. Flight plan, departure. What are the winds doing up here right now? Let's take a look at the winds. All right, this is one thing I hate about Denver, man. You just never know what runway you're going to get. Right now, winds are 2020 at 5. So basically out of north, let's do 35 left for departure. Probably wouldn't get that, but we'll do 35 left for departure. So we're going to go departures, 35 left, and we're on the Sleek 2. Sleek 2, and we'll insert that. Looks like basically a heading, and then out to Mendano. Can't tell you how many times I've crossed over the Mendano fix. DFW, we're gonna request to land 17 center because that's the West Complex. Real life coming in this direction, they'd probably put you on the West Complex, even though you're parking east. JetBlue parks east. You just have a long taxi, but we're gonna land on 17 center. Jovem 4 is the arrival, and we're coming in over Mendano. Insert that. Beautiful. That is set. Any add-ons for Denver? Sean, I don't believe so. I think this is just regular handcrafted, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to buy the, whatchamacallit. I think there's a third party for this, but I didn't like the reviews I saw on YouTube, so I just stuck with the handcrafted. It's pretty heavy on frames, I'm not going to lie. That's just Microsoft being Microsoft, but this is a default handcrafted Denver. All right, ILS 35 left. If we have to come back around, that's fine. Secondary perf. Let's go over here. If you guys saw my shorts video, I hit the B key in real life. Could not get my barrows to automatically sync in real life like the sim, unfortunately. But I thought about it. I tried doing it. Oops, that's the wrong one. 2988 is set here. Temperature off to ECAM 8 degrees, a little bit chilly. Winds, we said 020 at 5, basically nil. Put that out. That works for mine. That works for me fine. I don't know what the barrel ref is, so let's just do a 200 on the radio. That's fine for the secondary. RadNav, nothing to hard tune. A NIT B, we're going to leave that here. Now let's take a look at the tablet, and what we're going to do is call, I guess we're going to load immediately, right? Actually, let's go ahead and yeah, we're gonna load aircraft. So weight and balance. And why doesn't it have, let's re-import it. Unit mismatch. Why is it a unit mismatch? Why are we in kilograms? Why? I already saved this. What is going on with it? No, no, yes, yes, no. Okay, what is going on with that? My flight. Weight and balance. What is up with this? Alright, there we go. There we go. Load aircraft instantly. And now we're going to take GSX and we're going to do request boarding. Boarding is requested. Okay, so with that done, though, we can already do our zero fuel weight. Zero fuel weight, 125.9 and 29.5. So let's put that in here now. 125.9 and 29.5. Boom. That's in there. We got 16.8 on board, or 16.5 on board. That's good. We'll put 16.5 here. Also on my last trip, we were overfueled by 1,000 pounds, and it all went into the wrong tank. So had to do a little bit of fuel transferring, which I was trying to figure out if I could move fuel with the APU burning only. Turns out you can. It's just extremely slow and not worth the time and doesn't really work. But theoretically, you can burn APU fuel from the right tank. Just very, 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 very slow. So that is set. We got our fuel on board and balanced. Let's go up to the overhead. Let's get our tank pumps online since we're starting to board. We're not going to fire up the APU because we're going to talk about our MELs here in a minute. We're just making sure the rest of the airplane is set up and ready to go. It was a little bit toasty. 8 degrees. How is our temperatures in the cabin? 27. Yeah, it's getting hot in the cockpit. 27 isn't too bad. We'll keep an eye on that. Cargo doors are open. We're boarding. Let's go constraint mode on here. We're going to get all the airplanes set up first, and then we're going to talk about MELs. 370 top altitude is set. And checking our squawk code 2000. Beautiful. Okay. I think we're getting there. We're going to have passengers boarding here momentarily. Looks like they're going to come over here and start throwing bags at some point, I hope. So we'll just sit here and watch. I don't really like kind of a low definition on the livery there, but we'll kind of sit here as we're a passenger. All right, back to the chat. Looks like boarding is starting. Let me have a sip of my coffee. Flightbeam is pretty decent overall. Love their Auckland. Danny, it's a Flightbeam Denver, right? So I normally really enjoy Flightbeam. I just, for some reason, I didn't like their Denver. I don't know why. It didn't look like it was worth it to me. But maybe that was an old review that I saw because it was like one of the first reviews on YouTube. And I basically remember the reviewer was going side by side with the Denver scene or with Flightbeam and then with the enhanced one, whatever it is. And it was pretty much the same. So maybe there's been some updates because Flightbeam, I remember them being very high quality, especially in FSX and P3D. So unfortunately, I don't have it today. Regards from Peru, Fly with Tamed. What's up, man? Welcome. That's a long way away. Welcome on board the stream. Glad to have you. And welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks on the channel. Glad to have you on board. Always a pleasure picking up new members. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for crushing the support and supporting me on this venture at the V1 HQ. Jeremy asks, when entering the altimeter setting in the McDo, do you have to type the decimal point? Jeremy, in our airplanes, yes. For some reason, if you don't put the decimal point in there, it will say, I took a video. Did I take a video of this? Or I don't know. I remember doing it intentionally on one of my flights a couple months ago to see. And basically it says invalid format or out of range. That's what it said. It said entry out of range. And that is to prohibit the accidental misinformation input into the box. Garbage in, garbage out. It will take the millibars if you have the millibars set on the EFIS on the dashboard. So if I were to set that to inches a millibar instead of HG, then I can put in the altimeter setting without the decimal point in the box. So basically it's linked. You can't mismatch it, right? So I can't have in HG 29 or 88 on the dash on the EFIS and FCU, or I guess just the EFIS, but then have whatever that is in millibars in the box. In our real world airplanes, it won't let you do it. I'm not sure what the sim will let you do. It could be a software thing. Kind of makes sense though when you think about it, because you don't want to have cross-referencing of units, right? Could potentially put you in a spot for a bad thing to happen. Anthony, what's up, man? I escaped work today, ready to sit back and scratch my aviation itch. Anthony Teal. Well, I hope we can scratch that itch for you today, man. Welcome on board. Glad to have you on board the stream, my friend. Team Vodka in the house. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Back from Vegas. Hope it was a good trip, if you're talking real world Vegas. Blue Mac, maybe Thales versus Honeywell thing. It could be. You're absolutely right. It very well could be. I'm just telling you my small sample size, the one tail number that I tried it in, it just said entry out of range. But when I switch it over to millibars, it will let me put it in. Okay, so let's talk about what we got on board today. So when I got on board the aircraft in real life on leg one, day one, I came in here and I had a bunch of orange stickers down here, and we had a couple of things going on. Maintenance was actually in the cockpit doing some stuff, and then they also went outside and started opening up some panels. Basically, long story short, what happened was there was a hydraulic fluid leak detected, hydraulic fluid leak detected into the APU oil, or excuse me, into the APU burner area. So what happens is it's called a fume event, and believe it or not, this is actually a very political subject, and Airbus believes it doesn't exist. People have gotten sick, people have died from fume events. Very controversial topic. Either way, on this particular aircraft, they have detected hydraulic fluid in the area where the APU burns, gets hot, and it ignites that. Maybe not hydraulic. Maybe it wasn't hydraulic. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it was oil. Basically, oil leaking past where it's supposed to be. It gets burnt up, and those fumes then come into the cabin, can make you very sick. So they deferred the APU completely. No electrical and no bleed was authorized from the APU. So we were completely dead in the water APU. So we're not even going to turn it on today. Now, the flight that had flown over, even with the APU deferred and a confirmed oil leak in the APU system, they still, one of the deadheading crew members sitting in the front of the airplane said that they smelled fumes on the descent into Dallas. So they wrote it up again, and maintenance said, well, if the APU wasn't used and it was in the cabin, the pilots didn't smell it, which would be Pack 1. They said maybe it's something to do with Pack 2. So we went ahead and deferred Pack 2 completely, and basically what happens is they come up here, they turn the Pack 2 push button off, and then they will seal the Pack 2 control valve, or pack flow control valve will be wired shut, essentially. So you cannot use Pack 2. So now we're single pack operation, which means we're also going to be limited in our top altitude, which we had to refile our flight plan, get an amendment. We're not going to be able to go above 330. So we got 330 now for our top altitude due to an MEL. So we got 330 set. Let's put 330 in our cruise altitude as well. We'll come down here, just put 330. So for single pack, we're not going above 33. That is set. And I can put Denver in here on progress page as well. So that looks good. So that is set. All right, so now we know we don't have an APU. We cannot use Pack 2. What does that mean for the airplane? So as far as condition is concerned, it's not terrible for the pilots because Pack 1 initially goes to the cockpit and then is sent out through distributors to the rest of the cabin. But Pack 1 will still have pretty good cockpit regulation of the temperature. The aft cabin is going to suffer, though, with Pack 2 and not. Pack 2 goes directly into the cabin. Pack 1 goes to the cockpit first. So with Pack 2 out, not terribly uncomfortable for the pilots. You might be cold because we're going to try to keep it real cold up front, so that kind of bleeds into the cabin because the aft cabin does have a tendency to get pretty warm when Pack 2 is in op. So we'll keep that in mind. Right now we'll just go ahead and we'll set these to their standard settings. Now, good thing this is not summertime. Summertime Pack 2 and op is awful. It's pretty awful. So is this simulating what you're going through in real life, fighter? Exactly. Yeah, this is the exact situation that we had to deal with and what we went through on leg 1, day 1, at night, delayed. Supposed to be an easy one-legger, but we were delayed. Didn't get in past till like 1:30 in the morning or something. It was a late night for us. It was supposed to be super easy. Get in around 8 or 9 o'clock, have some dinner, go to bed. No, it was anything but. All right, so no APU, no Pack 2. What does that mean for us as crew members getting the airplane off the gate? Well, we're going to have to do a ground power and air start. So we're going to need electrics from the jet bridge, and we're also going to need ground air. Not a big deal. We're going to fire up engine 2. We've done it before on the stream with ground power and ground air. We'll do it again today. Now, let me tell you what happened real world is after we backed off the gate and started taxiing out, as we watched this guy load some bags, we had to do a cross-bleed start, right? Because we no longer have an APU. So we have to do a cross-bleed start, set the parking brake. We started going through the cross-bleed procedures, and we get a ding, engine 1 auto start fault. Engine cranking in progress, or dry motoring in progress. I can't remember what the ECAM was. It was super late. So the procedure that we followed, and we're not, to save time, we're not going to go through the full-blown procedure, basically just a lot of reading and redundancies. But now we had to do a cross-bleed engine start without an APU with a manual engine start on number 1. So we're going to have to manually start engine number 1 through a cross-bleed. Literally the most complex way to start an engine on the Airbus is a manual start combined with a cross-bleed start. So we're going to have to do that procedure on taxi out as well. We'll take care of that after we push off the gate and give ourselves a little bit of space. We'll get out on a taxiway to do that. We'll set the brake and we'll do what we got to do. So that is set. Now, I see Andrea says, can you use high pack flows to supply for the lack of one pack? Andrea, you're absolutely correct. And in the MEL, so what happens is when maintenance went up here, they deferred the secondary pack. They get an MEL number, it gets put on there. I look up said MEL number in my minimum equipment list and my EFB, and it tells me the associated procedures. So basically says on this tail number with this mod, blah, 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 your top altitude is this. If you have this, you got to do that. What it also said is in the procedure, set pack flow to high. So indeed, pack flow is going to be on position high. Remember, the pack flow control selector switch here is a very rudimentary way of determining how much airflow you're demanding from your air conditioning system. In normal operation, it's pretty. It's a normal. It's 100. I think it's like 100% flow, right? And high, I think it's like 110 or something like that. I don't remember the percentages. I could be wrong. And then low is a little bit less than that. What the pack flow allows the operator to do is, if you have less than 148 passengers on an all-econ configuration 320 like we have here today, normally you would put that into position low. You lower the demand of the air conditioning system. You save a little bit of fuel, less demand on all the components of your pneumatic air cycle kits, right? Normal, if you're above 148 passengers, and high mode would be if you are in very hot, humid environments where you can't get the cabin to cool down, we would put it in high. Now remember, the one caveat to the pack flow valve here is that this only operates when you have 2 bleed sources available. So when you're on a single bleed, whether it be an APU bleed or just a single engine bleed, the packs are always operating in the high flow. So it's pretty much irrelevant until you have 2 sources of bleed air running. So at the gate here, obviously no ground air, no APU air, doesn't really matter. But even if we had the APU on right now and I put this to high, it doesn't matter. I could put it to low. We'd still get high flow because we only have 1 bleed source. But this comes into play when you have 2 engines running and we're flying on our way down to Dallas-Fort Worth. So pack flow is in the high position. Pack 2 is off. We'll reconfigure the overhead when it is time for our engine or ground air start. What we'll do here is we'll set 122.8, but you guys consider yourself brief. We'll do terrain on ND. That is good. We're loading passengers, 33. We got 107, 140 people to go. Let's come over here and do some perf data information while we wait. Does the pack flow switch work just like the fan speed in your controls car is AC? Jeremy Harvey, yeah, very similar, but you can actually see it work, and we'll have to look at it in flight. But if you go to the bleed page here, so this is basically your pack flow. You have low, high, and normal would be in the middle. When we start up 2 engines, we should see this in the high position. Now it would be interesting to test it if we could put it to low, see if it would actually go to low with a single bleed source, but we don't have the APU running. But yeah, very similar, Jeremy. But it's a reduction of demand from your air conditioning system. And you can see it operating here on your bleed page, and you go to your pack flow valves. So that's that. What were we doing? We're going to do a perf data. So let's do our perf takeoff. We said we're going to use 35 left for departure. It's dry, Denver. We'll sync the final load sheet. Optimum, force Toga, yes. Packs on. And anti-ice is off. We'll sync live weather. What do we got for speeds? Captain Shaq Oatmeal's in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. 15 months. Woohoo. Ooh, nice new badges, man. You got the silver. The silver first officer badges. Absolutely love it. Shaq, thanks for the continued support, man. Hope you're well. Hope flight training is continuing on and doing well. Hope they're not working you too hard over there on the ramp as well. So I think I was supposed to go to Charlotte this week, but I swapped out trips. So good to see you, man. Hope you're well, dude. All right, speeds 22, 35, 35, flap 2 Toga. So we can just put that in here right now, 122. I also had some very interesting speeds the other day. I had all speeds were the same. It was like 145 all the way across, but we're 22, 35, 35. I think we were taking off out of Tampa or something, and it was 145, 145, 145. That makes it easy. All right, engine out is 6,900 feet. That's thrust reduction. We're not doing a flex. Flap 2 off 3.5 left. Beautiful. Tom says, trying again, do you have dyads, dual advisory ice detection in your company? Do you get the ice not detected on the ECAM? Tom, it will depend on the tail number. Some of the new Neos have it, and a lot of our classics do not. So it just depends on the tail number. The majority of them, I do not believe, have it. I think we've picked up a few aircraft that had it, and so it's on some of them, but the fleet is quite large, and it's very tail number specific. So some do, some don't. But more often than not, no, unless you're in a new Neo. We have a company message as well. Let's come in here. Ooh, we have Starbucks. Hello. Oh, pumpkin spice latte. Appreciate you. I shouldn't have drank this other coffee while I was here. Thanks, babe. Hey, we got it. Jeremy Harvey, we just got ourselves a new pumpkin spice latte, freshly delivered, ready to go. Check this out. This is going to be a good stream, y'all. This is going to be a good stream. Cheers, pumpkin spice latte crew. All right. Tom says, huge thanks. Never heard of any that have this, especially 319. Tom, I've never seen one in a 319, so that makes me feel. The only ones that I've seen, I think it was like a handful of tail numbers. They were brand new Neos, and then I think we had one airplane that we got from Wizz Air or something. I don't remember. It had like purple slides on it. It was weird. Back in the COVID era, because when COVID hit, a lot of things changed. Like some airplanes, we got some airplanes from other parts of the world. The Embraers had it though, definitely. All right, we're pretty much good to go. We're just waiting on passengers, right? So we're waiting on passengers to finish boarding, or did they finish? I think they did. They are. So let's prepare for pushback and departure. And we're going to come over here. Do you want to start engines before pushback? Yes, I do. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go into the configuration, and we're going to do nope.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
All right, we're going to do ground air on. Oh, shoot. Before I did that, we should have done pack 2 off, engine 1 bleed off, engine 2 bleed off, cross bleed is open. So the reason, I've talked about it many times before, the reason we turn off all packs and bleeds prior to a ground air start is to prevent any potential contaminants from getting forced into the induction system, the air conditioning system of the airplane. So sometimes, depending on what units you have out here, sometimes it's a big bottle or just a big cart that's really, really loud. You don't want to blow any of that air into the cabin if it has possible contaminants. So that is set. We're ready to start engines. We're going to start engines before pushback. So I'm going to wait and see if GSX actually gives me a clearance to start, and then we'll go from there. Chris Levin, 25 months, 366 viewers before we get off the gate. This must be a record. Chris Levin, thank you so much, man, for the 25 months of support. Sounds like a complicated startup. Don't you have a hand crank somewhere? Basically what we're going to be doing with Chris on this flight. Just wait till we get to the cross bleed manual engine start. It just it was wild. And so from pushback to taxiing out, my FO was heads down, moving, flipping switches, did a phenomenal job. Had he not been, he was a pretty senior FO. Had he been less experienced and less with it, we would have been a lot longer on the ground. All right, so I want to do just a nose right, tail. I want to do nose left, tail right. but I don't want to start yet. All right, waiting for engine start. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and do this. Beacon light will come on. Ground to cockpit. Cockpit ground, go ahead. Hey, we're all configured up top here. We're ready to receive air on engine number 2 and confirm we're going to be starting engine number 2 first. That's affirmative, Captain. We'll turn on the air and you are starting engine 2 first. You are cleared to start. Beautiful. All right, doors and windows closed and armed. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on. Before start checklist is complete. And let's go ahead and start engine. So we're going to move the ignition start to start. You can see here we got 48 PSI from the ground card already. And that's a Microsoft thing. I don't know why it does that, but there we go. Starting engine 2 first. Starting 2. Let's listen to this one from here, and then we'll actually do the other one from the cockpit view. So ground air start here from the wing view. Why is it so quiet? There we go. What is providing the bleed air source? It would be a ground, we call them hover carts, essentially. So it's basically a big blower that's outside, and it winds up, and it's very loud, and it pushes bleed air into the engine start system. All right, we're waiting for action. That's good. So we'll wait for the avail light to come on here. I'll monitor the ECAM. Oh my goodness. Q8 pilot, are you serious? We'll mute the alert box on this one. Q8 pilot has just basically turned the chat green. Q8 pilot, I cannot thank you enough, man, for your support. Guys, if you're snatching up a membership, a gifted sub from Mr. Q8 pilot, he's an absolute legend. Thank you, Osama. Really, really appreciate that, man. Appreciate your support. Absolutely awesome. Guys, if you haven't already, check out Q8 pilot. I'm sure you all have heard of him. He is literally a legend in the flight sim community. Thank you so much, man. I can't thank you enough. Words aren't enough. I can't express enough thanks for that kind of support. But you're absolutely awesome. I appreciate you, sir. Hope you are well. Hope the family is well. And thanks for stopping by the stream. Does the jet bridge provide ground air? Jeremy, no. It is a separate cart. Separate cart outside. All right, air bleed 2, that is associated, so we'll clear the caution. We've got a good start on 2. We'll move the ignition start switch back to the normal position. We can go ahead and clear air. We'll go ahead and clear air status. That's associated, clear status. All right, coming back up to the overhead here. We can, before I do that, let's pull up the electrical page just to verify. So electrical page, we've got generator 2 ready to go. So we'll go ahead and disconnect from external power. External power disconnected. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the maintenance air. We'll turn off the ground air. That is done. And then we'll go ahead and go over to ground services. You can see here there's a lot to do when you have this type of fault. So ground services, now we'll go ahead and pull the GPU and we'll pull the chocks and cones. And now we are ready to push back. But after the ground air start is complete, before we release brakes, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pack 2 will remain off. Engine 2 bleed can come on. Cross bleed will go to the auto position. And pack 1 is going to come on, which now we need to power pack 1 because remember pack 2 is off. So we're actually going to open the cross bleed back again. So cross bleed is open. Engine 2 bleed is on. Pack 2 is off. And now we are powering pack 1 from engine 2. You see how that was a really cool delay. You see that? It took a while for the system to pressurize and get pack 1 pressurized and then extinguish the fault light there. Phenomenal modeling. Love to see that. That was about a realistic delay as well. So pack 2 is deferred. Engine 1 bleed is going to remain off for this because we know we're going to be doing a cross bleed engine start. We'll leave that in the off position. The cross bleed is in the open position to give us some air conditioning. At this point, we are ready to push. Ground to cockpit. Cockpit to ground. How you doing? All right. All chocks and hoses are removed. We're waiting for your signal, Captain. Copy that. Brakes are released, cleared to push. Let's roll. Hey, we got a tug and tow bar today. Man, it's a great day. It is a great day. He's a few steps above a legend. Blue Mac, you're absolutely correct, my friend. Q8 is a few steps above 11, indeed. Absolutely, Q8. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Q8, if you're still here, I saw you flying the Simcoders. Was it the Baron? Or no, it was the 172. One of the last one you did with the Simcoders pack. But I misread the title. My heart skipped a beat. I thought you were doing the Airfoil Labs King Air. I think you were doing the Airfoil Labs 172. Maybe that was the stream. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the day where you post a video that the Airfoil Labs King Air is compatible with X-Plane 12. I cannot wait for that one. I'm sure you'll be all over it. Now we just need a Brooklyn Nets livery. Oh, yeah. John says they gave V1 an actual tug. The world is right today. John, you couldn't have said it better, my friend. We got an actual tug. We got pumpkin spice lattes. I mean, we got rainy, overcast skies, which is my favorite weather condition, maybe because I grew up where it was sunny and hot all the time. I love it when it rains. I love overcast days. It's just a good day. We even have a JetBlue tug out here. Look at this. This is real life. We even have the pin swinging there. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice pushback, GSX. We're going to do a 180 on our taxi out. That was my fault on the direction of push. So we'll just go ahead and sit in the cockpit. Now, the next few steps, we'll set the brake here. Brake set, clear or disconnect. Yeah, Tyson, I'm facing the wrong way. Indeed. So the next steps here, you could configure the airplane, such as get your flaps set, get your trim set, and taxi out. For me, I don't know why, our SOP it gives you the option. For some reason, I said, let's just not even reconfigure anything. Let's just taxi out. We'll do our cross bleed, and we'll take care of all that stuff after engine start. And the reasoning, you always want to have a reason behind doing something, right? So my reasoning for not configuring the airplane and doing all of our stuff after pushback is because I knew we were going to taxi up close to the runway. We were departing Dallas, so we were going to be pretty much at the hold pad when we did our cross bleed start. We still needed 5-minute engine warm-up time we still needed a 3-minute engine warm-up time on number 1. So I figured, let's just start it, and then we can sit there and do all of our checks, and that'll count towards our engine warm-up time, right? So I didn't configure in real world after our pushback, so we're not going to configure on this particular taxi out. Now, that's neither right nor wrong. You could do it if you wanted to. This is interesting, a spin out there. But normally that gets disconnected, hooks to the back right here, and then they drive off. So we got a tug and tow. And where'd my pin at? I'm waiting for the pin. Did she already show it to me? There she is. She's walking off the nose now. You and Q8 need to go on the Blue Experience podcast. Jeremy, I would absolutely love to, man. That'd be a legend. Love to get on there with Q8. All right, there's our pin. We got a tug and a tow. Give her a salute. Give her a flash with the taxi light, and they are out of here. All right, so like I said, we're not going to reconfigure because we're going to do a cross-fleet start. Now, on this particular flight, or this particular configuration, can somebody tell me why the hydraulic PTU is not running? Now, I always say, if you're going to do a single engine taxi, you have to start engine 1 because you don't want the PTU to be running the whole taxi out. Well, I have engine 1 off. The PTU is not running. Does anybody know why in this configuration the PTU is not running? Pushing the tow bar on the front is not fun. Exactly. Have I seen the company that wants to put an electric hub on the nose wheel of the 7.3 so they can do ground maneuvers? Connor, I do remember that. Yeah, I think I've seen something where they had like mechanical pushback. Parking brake, electric pump, no flaps. Parking brake is part of it. Parking brake and engine masters are split. Okay, so this is designed by Airbus. If you were to push back, set the brake, start engine 2, you do not want to be sitting here with the PTU running. So with the parking brake on and the engine masters split, the PTU will not run. As soon as I release the parking brake, we should get the PTU sound. So let's go ahead and taxi out to 3-5 left. Let's pull up our jet charts here, and we'll see how the Fenix simulates this PTU operation. We are here. We need to make a 180. Not a big deal here. There's plenty of room to maneuver on the ramp. We're going to taxi 3-5 left via Mike and Alpha. Or no, Mike and Mike... Mike and Alpha. Right? Yeah, Mike and Alpha. Denver traffic, JetBlue 357. We're going to be departing the central ramp here. We're going to taxi 3-5 left via Mike, Denver traffic. All right, so first things first, let's see if we can hear it. Let's go brakes released. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you hear? PTU is running. And this is why you do not single engine taxi, if you can help it, with number 2 running. Because now with the engine master split and the parking brake off, we need to pressurize the green system. How is that going to accomplish? It's through the yellow. You guys are barking at me, say, oh, turn on the yellow electric pump. Why would I need to turn on the yellow electric pump if it's already pressurized because number 2 is running? So in this aircraft's configuration with the with this hydraulic layout, there's no need to turn on the yellow electric pump. It would be redundant. You don't need to do that. So this is why, precisely, if you single engine taxi, or you even have the option to single engine taxi, we start engine number 1 first, so you don't have to listen to that. But either way, we got brakes released. We're going to go ahead and taxi out. Let's go ahead and spool them up a little bit. Roberto says, excellent way to explain it. Hey, thanks, Roberto. At least I said it right there. Sometimes on stream, you know, I say things, I'm like, did I really say that? I said it wrong, but hey, if I got your confirmation, we're looking good. But yeah, so it's, you know, nothing is wrong with the airplane when you do this. It's just not comfortable for the passengers, and it's not an efficient way to single engine taxi. Now, if you're going to start engine 1, it's not a big deal, right? Because with the parking brake set and the master split, the PTU is not running. So you can start 2 first and then start 1 and do a 2-engine taxi out. But here in the States, single engine taxi is very prevalent. We do it quite a bit. Even the thought that you might single engine taxi, that's why we just always start engine 1 first. Try not to go over 40% on number 2. We turned our taxi light on, didn't we? No, we did now. All right, so what we'll do is we'll taxi out a little ways here, and then we'll do a cross-bleed start procedure. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole start fault because that will just take up more time, and we've already been streaming for 48 minutes. But what happened in real world when we were taxiing out just like this, PTU running, it's like, all right, let's go ahead and do a cross-bleed start. So the first officer went through the comm procedure, got the airplane configured. I said, your thrust lever. We were actually going to start number 1 as we were rolling. With a cross bleed. So he went to do the start, and we went about 20 seconds, and then ding, engine 1 start fault. Or, yeah, it was a start fault, dry cranking in process, and so we sat there, we waited for the dry cranking to complete, considered our crank times, our starter motor limitations, and then we did the procedure in our book, which, again, it's a lot of just redundant reading. But what happened was essentially it directed us to attempt a manual engine start next. So we had to do a manual engine start on top of a crossblade, which is kind of a fun one. This is quite the little bump here in the taxiway, so I'm going to give it a little bit of juice here. Hopefully we can climb this hill, not here in real life. Whoa there, buddy. All right, we're going to turn right, and then we'll just stop here, and then we will do our whole start procedure over here. Because we don't want to block the runway or anybody taxiing out. So we'll go a little bit further forward here, and then we'll set the brake, and we'll go through a cross-bleed manual engine start. Peyton Correa says, do you know why I can't become a member again? My membership's ran out, and I gifted. Peyton, it shows you're a member on my screen, man. Oh, let's see, retracted. Maybe you got it figured out. YouTube has been a little wonky, man, with the members, and then my Discord actually got stuck. But it should be resynced now, and everybody should be getting their perks as promised by membership status. So hopefully it's set up. Mike P, what's up, man? Thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, man. All right, so here we go. Parking brake is set, engine master split, PTU has ceased to operate. Absolutely lovely. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. So, cross bleed, engine start, manual. Pack 2 is off, so we don't have to turn Pack 2 off. What we need to do now is turn Pack 1 back off because we want to save all the demand we can get, right? Engine 1 bleed is going to be off. Engine 2 bleed is on. So the receiving engine bleed is off. The giving engine is on because we need to get pressure over here, right, to start it. And of course the cross bleed needs to be open. If it were shut, we would not be able to get any pressure over there. Now, in a normal start, you would just move this to start and move the start switch. But because of our start fault, we're going to attempt to do a manual engine start on this one first. So, ignition switch to ignition start. Here we go. Ignition switch to ignition start. Next thing we need to do is give ourselves some juice. So CFMs aren't too bad about it here. Let's go ahead and bump it up. Need a minimum of 30 psi. I like to see about 35, 38-ish, because it's going to drop once that starter valve opens. And in fact, and every airplane is different. On our particular airplane, we had to use right about 40% N1 to actually have enough juice. Just happened to be that specific tail number, wanted the extra N1. So there we go. Here is 39. There is 40% N1. We've got 36 PSI over here on engine 1. That is good. I don't know why it keeps doing that Microsoft thing. Normally that wouldn't happen. All right, so for manual engine start, we're going to come up to the overhead. Man engine start switch, we're going to press man 1. Man 1 is on, start the clock. Basically observing here for a max motoring of 20 seconds, depending on the engine that you have. Look at the pressure has dropped. Good to see that. We're down to 24 PSI. Here's our N2 is on the rise. We're starting it just like a Boeing right now. So you could sit here and the airplane, it will not light off. 22.6 on N2. All right, let's go ahead and move the ignition start switch to 1. Now in real life, you have to guard that switch because you do not get auto start fault protection here. So you'd actually, the FO was sitting here holding the switch because we're monitoring the ITT on this startup. It's just dangerous when you have a cross bleed. If you don't have enough pressure, you could get a hot start. It will not automatically abort for you and you could end up cooking the engine. So you got to be Johnny on the spot. So we'll guard the start switch here. There's a bus transfer. It sounds like things are coming alive. Now with the bleed valve closed, I could technically reduce that power already, but we're just going to leave it there. All right, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and bring number 2 back down. Avail light. We'll go back to normal. Air bleed 1 off, that's associated. Clear the caution. Clear air. Clear status. Back to the overhead. Man start push button off. Close the guard. All right, now we got to reconfigure the overhead. We're going to go cross bleed, auto, engine 1 bleed, on, pack 1, on. Wait for the pressure. See how much quicker it was? Because it's getting bleed pressure right here from engine 1. So instead of doing the bleed all the way over, just fire it right up. Pack 2 will remain off due to our MEL. We've got that inoperative today. So now we configured the rest of the stuff here. We'll go ahead and arm the speed brakes. I think we're like 0.3 down or something like that. That looks good. We're doing a flap 2 takeoff. Let's watch it come out. And electric pump does not need to be on because we got 2 engines started, my friend. Wow. So that's, and look at that. 54 minutes. We just got both engines started. A lot of work, a lot of work. FO is heads down and doing a lot of work here. So now we can reset the chrono. Should have done that right after engine start. Let's go ahead and do the rest of our checks here, right? Let's do our flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. We'll do auto brakes max, takeoff config check. That's going to auto on, and we'll do on TARA. Forward call. Now we have a status message. Why are our signs? Did I miss the signs? Oh, I never turned the seatbelt sign on. Rip. That's a lawsuit. So status, we're going to check the status. Pack 2, in-op, that's associated. So that is normal to see the status light there. All right, after start checks are complete. Birthday stream, whoop whoop, check ride coming up. Min Pham, thank you so much for your support for 5 months. Happy birthday to you. And hope you crush that check ride, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by. Lolar Pilot for 9 months. Always a pleasure to listen to your knowledge. Lolar Pilot, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Hopefully, kind of like information overload. Why are we stuck in the ground here in Microsoft? There we go. But Lolar Pilot, sometimes it sounds like a fire hose info day, but I appreciate you guys and the support. Hanging tight. Steven, what's the vibe, y'all? What's up, man? The vibe has been fantastic today in stream. Everyone's happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. We got pumpkin spice lattes. We got rainy skies and DFW. We got Throttleteks. We got crossbleed starts. Doesn't get much better than this, folks. Mike P, what's up, man? Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, money raiser for channel. Auction off a 5 to 10 minute private audio chat in Discord to discuss flight sim or real aviation issues. Ooh. Very interesting, Mike P. Good idea, my friend. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You know what? I really enjoyed doing my V1 After Dark podcast live last time. I will probably do that again here as soon as I get some time. We might actually do it this week, maybe. Might just do a little... Uh-oh. Denver Center's on. We got to pick that up. Let's clear the turn here. We might do another live chat. But, you know, from time to time, as a member, make sure you're checking the voice, the members only section of voice. I do tend to be in there and hang out and talk with the guys, so you don't have to charge. I don't want y'all to have to pay me just to talk to me. I'm just a regular guy just like you. So and make sure you're checking that members only voice section. I do hang out in there from time to time. Ask me all the questions you want, my friend. All right, we got a Denver Center request. Please contact me on 2765. 2765. Well, since we are single pilots, we are going to pretty much stop here and call him 2765. Boop, boop, set. And we're still taxiing. We'll see what he says here. We'll probably get a clearance. Denver Center, good afternoon. JetBlue 357 on the ground in Denver, looking to get IFR to DFW.
I'm sorry, the aircraft calling. What's the call sign?
It's JetBlue 357.
JetBlue 357, Denver Center, clear to Dallas Fort Worth Airport, Sleek 2 departure, Sleek then as filed, climb via SID, departure with me, squawk 6511.
Clear to Dallas Fort Worth, Sleek 2 departure, Sleek as filed, climb via SID, departure with you, squawking 6511 for JetBlue 357.
JetBlue 357, right back correct. United 1253, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
Boom, here we go.
United 1235, Denver Center.
Let's go Jets. J.E.T.S. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach you here. You went down to 35 left instead of 8. You're at the wrong end of the departure end. Are you able to turn around where you are, or do you need to get on 35 left and vacate to go back to the correct side?
Uh-oh.
We can go ahead and we'll actually taxi on 35 left and then vacate and get down to 8 left.
Okay, so straight ahead on 35 left and then left again on Mike 2. And then just hold short of Mike for now. There's another plane that's unresponsive as well. So just hold short on Mike 2 for now.
Okay, taxi on 35 left, Mike 2 and hold short of Mike United 1235.
JetBlue 357, are you here?
That's affirmative, and we're on Mike headed southbound at 35 left as well. What would you like us to do?
Let's see. You can go down to Mike 5 and then taxi on 35 left and then left on Mike 6 if that works, and then take Mike back around.
That works. That works for us. So we'll Mike 5, enter 35 left, back taxi Mike 6, and then we'll give you a call there, JetBlue 7.
And United 1235, you can resume your taxi on Mike once you get there.
All right, so let's go ahead and pick up the pace. We got to double back here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. What the heck was that noise?
And Center Frontier Flight 779
ATC message?
Altitude,
What the?
Alpha, ready for taxi.
That's new.
Frontier 779.
Did I just get a PDC? Wait.
25 by Alpha Sierra Golf.
Hold the phone. Since when does that work? I'm not even connected. I got to get into my CPDLC situation. Did you guys that ATC message light up? What was that? I mean, I know what that is. That's a CPDLC.
November 6 Mike Delta, descend and maintain.
That's a CPDLC chime. Wow. I didn't even think I was hooked up to it.
Descend and maintain 16,000.
Alright, I'm trying to, I can't taxi and do this at the same time. Let's do it this way.
Number 9 Tango Sierra, traffic, 11 o'clock, 5.5 miles, through for level 190.
Let me do it from this one. McDo, Atsu.
November 6 Mike Delta, clear direct Fort
ATC
Collins
request.
Clear
No.
direct.
Receive messages. Load sheet.
United
I just have a
1253,
load sheet
radar
in there.
contacts to altitude.
Maybe I gotta fire up the DCDU.
Alright, 1253, climb and maintain for level 35.
Alright, here's Mike 6, or Mike 5. We're gonna turn on here and double back to 8. Phantom 320 is in the chat. What's up, Phantom? Good to see you, man.
Good afternoon, Walker 1677 IFR.
You gotta change your YouTube name, Phantom 737 Whiskey November. What's up, man? Good to see you. Don't mind me here as I drift a 180-degree turn at 20 knots
Walker
without turning on
1677,
lights.
Denver Center, Cedar Burbank Airport, Daler 6 to
Alright, spooling it back up. Let's brighten up our
departure with me, squawk 6542.
We're the Burbank, we have the Baylor 6, Terry B session, AS5.
Love the stream V1. That's awesome.
542, Walker 1677.
Walker
Wow.
1677, right back.
Never got a CPDLC before on stream. That's awesome. Whoever sent that, that's cool, man. I'm gonna mess with that in flight. We gotta figure out what we're doing here with our life. We gotta back taxi. We gotta go all the way back to 8.
United 1245.
We gotta reset our runway numbers.
Airport, sleek 2 departures, sleek Fenix filed.
Brees Hall Alpha Zoom Brad K. I know, dude. I'm so sad, man. So sad.
Clear Dallas Fort Worth.
Cannot believe Brees Hall is done for the season.
Going to be with you. Going to be 6555 for United 1235.
United 1235, is that correct?
If you're taxiing to 8, be careful.
Squawking normal, please.
Squawking normal, Jet 357. Now we are. Phantom, you missed the transponder, man. Come on, dude. DUI aircraft taxi.
United 2662, Denver Center, squawk 6556.
We're ripping. We're 26 knots. We're moving. We're moving. Well, we got all the way to 8. And now we need to put 8 in the box here as well. So we need to come back. This is where I really could use an FO.
Walker 1677, ready for push and start Alpha 30.
Departure 8.
Walker 1677, push back to crew, push straight back, stop at the first line, expect 25.
Sleek 2.
Expect 25, push back.
Sleek, insert. Check takeoff data. We got to reset that. All right, now we're going downhill. All right, we're looking good. And we got to redo our speeds here. And Denver Center, JetBlue 357. We're back northbound on Mike. You want us to continue to 8? Blocked. Way to go.
Okay, I heard someone at 260 and someone on the ground. In the air, go ahead.
In the air, Delta 4726.
All right, let's just stop.
Level 260, direct GCK.
We'll do
Delta
this.
4726, Denver Center, squawk 6554.
He hasn't even taken off yet. I know, dude.
Squawk 65.
No, Brad K, we haven't
On the
even
ground
taken off
tower?
yet, man. JetBlue 357, we're northbound on Mike. You want us to continue to 8?
JetBlue 357, yes, sir, all the way down to 8.
All the way down to 8, JetBlue 357, roger. All right.
Frontier 779, runway 25, clear for takeoff.
25 clear for takeoff, Frontier 779.
Look at the I'll be very careful of that taxiway. 8, dry, sync.
Delta 4726,
sync, calculate.
is reported, and are you maintaining flight level 260 or are you descending?
Delta 4726.
22, 35, 35, flap 2, up 0.0. So same as before. So 22 and 35s. So perf speed, we'll come in here, we'll nail that real quick. 122, 135. Oh, it even shows you in the box. That's cool. 135, 135, flap 2, down 0.0. So we're a little bit out of trim. We'll come back. There we go. Pretty much neutral trim. Do our takeoff config button again. That's good. Status normal. All right, we're back. We're back.
Good afternoon. Southwest 275 on the ground.
Hoping those CPDLCs that you're doing risk simple takeoffs. I hear you, man. I hear you. Guys,
So that's 275,
400
Denver
viewers,
Center, Kansas City
smash
Airport,
that
MZ
like
departure,
button
vertical
for
transition, then
CP
S5,
DLC
departure with me,
messages.
Fox
I've never
561.
seen that on stream. I've never seen that in the sim before. That's really cool.
Clear to Kansas via the NE8 circle transition, then it's filed.
That is really cool.
Departure with you, 6561.
I'm working hard. Hopefully I deserve a
Southwest
like button.
275, redirect
We're going to
right.
try not to crash on this.
United 1155, Bravo 35, we're in push.
We're going to try not to crash on this
United
mountain over to runway 8
1155,
here.
push back approved, push straight back.
We also
up
need
the
to
first
turn
line,
down that
expect
sim. Let's turn down him a little bit.
First line, second way, United 1155.
Like smash. Thank you, Velociraptor. Appreciate you, bud. All right, where are we at? Everything is done. Our engines are on. Our warm-up time is well good. We're at 11 minutes now. We're configured for takeoff. We're taxiing to 8. We got a new runway. Terrain mode is on. We're looking good.
6200 for 10,000, Frontier 779.
Best stream ever. Thank you, Cornelius. Appreciate you, man. I feel exactly how my FO felt last. I don't even remember what day it was. 5 days. I don't remember. Last Wednesday, Thursday? I don't know. It was such a long trip. I felt like it was last month. Oh boy, look at this taxiway.
When did you start? What did you do for United 48?
Yeah.
But if you need a turn, it should be about a 350 heading control.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Because if we were to crash right now, I think I would just Alt F4. Jeez.
November 2 Papa Bravo at Eldora, cleared ILS 35 left approach.
Take the grass? Good idea, good idea, good idea. Let's take the grass.
Continue the turn all the way
We're going to
around.
go via the grass route. So, immersion totally ruined.
Who's calling?
United 4 Hotel taxi.
Oh, it helps if you release the brake. No, brakes are off. Why are we stuck? Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Runway 25, or I'm sorry, runway 8, taxi via Bravo, clear on Mike.
Go full Navy mode.
Sure, runway 25, taxi via Bravo, clear on Gulf.
Can we take the... How does the dirt even look, though? Yeah, dirt should be fine. Typical of Zobo. We'll keep a little juice here. Off-roading. I don't typically off-road in an Airbus stream, but when I do it with 480 people watching, so... Welcome to Realism 10.0. This is as real as it gets, folks. This is as real as it gets. Yep, I think this will just about take care of it. Denver Ops for us, huh? Brad K. Not only am I a tree trimmer, but I cut grass. Hey, dude, I'm V1 Industries, LLC, my friend. We cut trees, we trim grass, we trim trees, we cut grass. All the above, my friend. All right, here we go. Let's get back on here. Doo-doo-doo. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. As real as it gets. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Where's my X-Plane love? We need some X-Plane in chat, huh? Man. X-Plane 12 is like way better. I don't know how big that hill was, but it looked like I would for sure crash or tail strike or something. And after doing our cross bleeds, runway 8 clear for takeoff, JetBlue 357. After everything we have been through on this stream, I did not want to even risk it, my friend. But here we go. We're cleared for takeoff. We're doing a full Toga takeoff. Lights are on. We're cleared to go. I'm ready to go. I hope you guys are ready to go. If you're not a premium member, you just got an advertisement. I'm sorry about that.
1155, runway 8, taxi via Bravo, November and Mike.
But it's about time to spool up them Togas in chat. How many likes can we get for a Toga takeoff? How many likes can we get for a Toga takeoff? If you want to see it from the wing view, smash that like button right now. If you want it from the boring cockpit view, don't hit the like button. And if you're a member, we got a lot of members in chat, courtesy of Callie Simmer and Q8 Pilot with the membership donos. Turnip Blue, Yoga's in chat. Runway 8 checks 079, 350 likes. Spooling them up 50. Here we go.
So your fault.
Delta 46.
Yoga. Oh yeah.
Delta 47, 26, Denver Center.
Let's get back on center line. Man, Toga, SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue.
Delta 47, 26,
Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Ooh. Navin. Fly with.
Yeah,
Oh, my ears.
1254 and a 25 for takeoff.
Mantoga SRS nav. Here we go.
I'm sorry, on departure flight, where are you heading, please?
Where am I heading on departure? Yeah, 1254 now.
All right. Sorry, somebody said the alert box was muted. I got you.
Radar contact, the altitude.
6.6, climb at 10, JetBlue 357.
JetBlue 357, climb and maintain flight level 370.
Climb and maintain flight level 370, JetBlue 357. ATC message. We got 37 set. Climb and maintain, so we'll do an open.
How do you like our new speed bumps for Southwest?
Let's go ahead and bring it back. Thrust, climb, climb, open, climb, auto, thrust. 37 is blue. I know we're not going to go all the way up there because we're single pack. We got a lot going on. We're above F speed already. Let's go ahead and go flaps 1. I'll get to that bank angle check here. This is exactly what it looks like taking off at Denver, though. Love it. Denver Ground Ops, thank you so much, man, for the $5 dono. Bank angle check right back at you, dude. How do you like the new speed bumps for Southwest? Man, oh, man. Tell you what, dude. Oh, TCAS is on standby. What? TARA set. Phantom 320 is just forgetting all the stuffs. We didn't even disarm that. There we go. Jeez. Denver Ground Ups, thank you for the $5 chat. Appreciate you, man. Air pack 2 off. That's associated. We will clear air, clear status. We are single pack, and we're going to 37. Well, he's probably going to hop offline here in a little bit anyway, or we're going to get out of his coverage area, and then we'll just set 33. But we will enjoy the departure now. Jeez. If we can do flight level, why'd you read it back, Jeremy? Just because he's overwhelmed with traffic right now, and I don't want to make a special request. And critical phase of flight. I'm taking off, flying, flapping, all the good stuff. It just, I know we're not going to go to. In real life, it would have been unable, but he's talking to like 4 different airplanes that all hopped on at once. So I'm just giving him a little reprieve. And I think he's the only center online right now. So, but you're absolutely right, Jeremy. In real world, it would be 100% unable, and there would be something in the flight plan too saying that we couldn't go above that. So, little. That's just a sim. We'll call it a simism. There we go. Flap 0, looking good. Unmute notifications. You missed the Statui. Uh-oh. Statui. What did I miss, my friend?
November 9 Tango Sierra confirmed turning right, heading 160, please.
Going back up, going back up. What did I miss? Statui has joined commercial pilot. Statui, hey, I apologize, man. I had the whole alert box muted there because massive membership donation from Mr. QA Pilot, the legend himself. But thank you so much for joining commercial pilot, man. Exclamation point welcome. We'll give you all your information on your perks at chat. Glad to have you on board as a commercial pilot member, my friend. No, we cannot do 370 orbital, Jeff. We are limited to 33. And Denver JetBlue 357. See, I mean, I can't even get a word in edgewise.
JetBlue 357, sure that's approved. Request to report back. United 1254,
what?
direct fleet.
What did you say?
United 1235, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
I think somebody took our radio call.
Runway clear for takeoff. United 1235.
Walker 1677, runway 25, line up and wait.
I'm going to set 33.
Runway 25, Walker. You're the heading?
Yes, sir. Flighting 160. Thank you.
There we go. And Denver for JetBlue 357. I know we filed 370 as a final, but we're going to be limited to 33 today.
That's fine. Climb and maintain for level 330. I'll show that as your final.
Climb to 330, JetBlue 357. There we go, folks. 33 is set. We're looking good. And I'm actually trying to do some hand flying here at as we accelerate. I'm going to do 320. Because I was paying particular attention on my last trip. I was paying particular attention to how the aircraft feels at higher speeds. Now, with the fly-by-wire and all that, and the artificial feel units in the stick, and well, we don't really have artificial feel units, it's Embraer. But with the way the side stick and the fly-by-wire feels at higher altitudes and faster speeds, theoretically, you're not going to feel a difference in your side stick, right? Because the tension doesn't change on the side stick, no matter if you're doing 330 knots or 150 knots. But the responsiveness of the airplane does change a little bit. It just seems a little bit crisper. I'm kind of getting that right now. You see I make these minor adjustments. I'll do a little bit of a bank here. It just feels like it's pretty crisp. That seems pretty realistic here. We're doing 5 degrees up at 320 knots.
Okay, who's looking for IFR?
Looking good. And we're pretty much locked in. We'll hand fly it up to about 18,000, and then we'll go back to regular live cam. But I'm just trying to get a real feel here for at high speed. 320 at 15,000 feet is going to be pretty loud.
6010 departure with me, squawk 6523.
Is it true after takeoff you have to tap the brakes, stop the wheel before spinning? Jeremy, no. There's actually snubbers, and it depends on the aircraft, but there are snubbers that will decelerate the wheels before they go into the well. So you can hear them decelerating, but no, you don't have to. Now, some airplanes, it may be recommended. I think that's more of a GA thing, honestly. I remember doing that in the Beach 99. Jeff Baird, no, I am 100% linear now, 100% linear on the sensitivity. Seems to be much better with the latest updates.
Walker 1677, radar contact to altitude.
We'll level it out here, and then we'll go ahead and turn the autopilot on and let her cruise. We might have a disco up there because we changed runways. All right, there's 18,000 feet STDs for you, me, and the jump seater. 1, 2, and 3. Cool. Let's go autopilot 1 on. We'll go live cam. That's pretty smooth, so let's go ahead and manage it. Let's just see how she climbs out at 340 knots. Just for testing purposes, we're going to accelerate to 340 below 20. Pretty loud. No X Enviro. Nope. No need. Snubber, my new favorite word. Exactly, Steven. Yeah. The snubbers will decelerate the wheels. There's no answer. To answer your question, there's no real limit to how high you can. No, Steven, no, you can hand fly all the way up, man. Hell, I haven't had one in a long time, but if the autopilot's disabled, you're hand flying the whole flight, my friend. Now, some airlines, especially overseas, will prohibit that.
You're not 1155. You got an unidentified target, 7,900.
But not for us. So they're pretty busy out there. I'm going to turn the radio down a little bit more. There is our disco between Sleek and Bravo Golf Mike. That is normal because we did that runway change. Remember what I say, that's your number one cause for a disco there is when you change runways and you've got that interlink between airway or departure and en route fix. So
1165, leave my airspace, Salt Lake City.
Just beautiful, though. I feel like this wing looks better than this wing for some reason. Did they forget to do textures on this wing, on this livery?
289 Denver Center, clear to Omaha, Eon 8 departure.
Maybe it's just the lighting, but that looks way better.
Departures with me, squawk 6557.
UFO on VATSIM. I heard him say that. Mikhail Torres to Throttletek is doing absolutely fantastic, my friend. Absolutely love it.
That is 289, right back, correct. Number 6, Mike Delta, descend and maintain 7,000.
The Throttletek is definitely game-changing for your hand flying capability and immersion, too. Hand flying and immersion is just unparalleled. Unmatched, I guess, makes more sense. Dude, this guy is crazy busy. Crazy busy. All right, we did have another message. Let's open it at our own risk. possible pilot deviation.
Walker 1460 by airspace Alpha Pursuit. Close.
That's awesome. We'll close those messages out. That's pretty cool. Actually got CPDLC messages. All right, let's take a look at our pack flow control valves, see how that's doing. So bleed, look at that, Jeremy. It's on high. So we have high flow. Now, let's just see. I think I've tested this before. If I flip that to low, you would see this start to move. I think that was for us. Was that radio call for us?
For who?
Looks like it's staying on high. Might have to do because it's, well, no, single pack. It should. It should start coming down, but we're going to keep it on high anyway. We'll keep her high flow.
And 1155 radar contacts to altitude.
Everything else looks good. Can we talk about the GPS incident last week? Any noticeable procedures? WASP looked normal during the event. Could have been ground-based interference. So military was doing some situations. I actually did. Yeah, that's right. I had not an RNAV. Normally, every takeoff out of Dallas I ever do is RNAV off the ground, at least in today's day and age. But because of of signal jamming and an outage, we were doing all old school. No GPS primary. You were just taking off on a heading. For us, we got filed a departure. I can't remember what it was. I think it was the Dallas 5 or whatever the number is. I don't know what the number is. It was the Dallas something departure procedure. And it was basically fly runway heading, a tower assign heading, and then you got to join direct to this VOR, track the airway. So we had it all set up in the box. Shortly after departure, though, after we got on with departure, everything started to come back. We got GPS primary, and then we got a new clearance. But yeah, it was, it's really a non-event as far as the airplane being able to fly. It is kind of interesting, though, when it comes at you. So my buddy was flying into DFW, I think the day prior, or maybe that day earlier in the day. They were coming down the arrival, GPS primary lost, nav TCAS fault or something like that, something with the TCAS, but essentially getting jammed. Lost all of their GPS stuff. GPS was gone. How to fly headings, but the airplane flies completely normal. I mean, before we had GPS, these airplanes were still flying around. So, it's not really a big deal. It's really only a big deal when you need your GPS and you don't have it. So, but as far as us, we were all prepared for it. We briefed it. We talked about it. We included it in our threats as a potential threat for the departure. So, Mr. Caps, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Hi, I feel annoying for continuing asking, but is there somewhere to find the CFG fix for the Caravan? And if there is one for the 350 King Air, Mr. Caps, there is not one for the King Air yet. And as far as the Caravan, let me take a look. I thought I posted that. Let me verify, Mr. Caps. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. So if I go to FS 2020, sync your props, pinned messages. No, that's the Cessna 310. We do not have a Caravan fix. Unfortunately, I cannot publicly give that out because it has to, it's basically a payware file. So the only way to do it would be to change values and put them in like a text document or something. We'll have to get with Phantom 320. Wow, look at these clouds. Good night. Have to get with Phantom 320 for that to get the proper fix because I don't want to just post a CFG file. That's basically not piracy, but it's distributing payware files, right? You don't want to do that. So I will continue to try to work with Phantom. I don't know if he's still here or not, but we'll try to get a similar text edit like we have for the Cessna 310 to fix that flight model, my friend. Why can't you fly RNAV without GPS? You still have the IRS. Pascal Hans, you're correct. It depends upon the approach, right? So unless it's a GPS required approach or if you're doing an IRS RNAV approach, it would only depend specifically on the procedure you're trying to fly. What does the CFG fix, correct, Captain Ricardo? It basically makes the air... Oh, he's already took off. Let's go back to Unicom. So basically, it fixes the twitchiness of the flight model. Makes it fly a little bit more realistic. All right, we are a pretty smooth ride here at 30. We're cruising up 7.9 Mach. We are looking good. I'll probably miss the rain in DFW, but you'll most likely get plenty of calc. Yeah, did it stop raining, Rob? Let me look at my real-world radar. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, it looks like it's pushing. Oh, yeah, it's all pushed out of here. Dang it. That sucks. I love the rain, man. I thought it was going to stick around a little bit longer. It looks like there's another line out there west of Abilene. Got some lightning in that one. Ooh, we're having a stationary front. Just north, or actually, no, just southwest of Wichita Falls. A lot of frontal activity happening out there right now. It was pouring here in Connecticut, Andre. Yeah, there's been some lines moving through, right? Let's see where you at. You're out east. Crazy. Looks like we might have some cloud cover though. No rain. Amarillo's getting hit right now. Oh yeah. IRS is qualified for RNAV. Yes, it is. Because remember, RNAV is just area navigation. Inertial reference system satisfies that requirement, depending upon the approach or procedure. Really, it doesn't have to be approach. It could be a specific arrival or departure. I haven't had any rain here in South Florida. Blue Max, maybe since the old hurricane came through there. I was in Florida. I woke up and it was like 54 degrees outside, man. I was like, is this for real? Is this real life? Couldn't believe how cold it was out there. Jeremy says, I'm actually a wheelchair passenger, and I wouldn't be able to jump on the slide if we needed to evac. So I've always worried about that. What should I do? Wait for a flight attendant. Jeremy, yes. So any passengers that are a wheelchair passenger, your information is already recorded prior to boarding, and obviously through the duration of the flight and for deboarding or deplaning. So if there was an event of an emergency, it is part of the flight attendant's responsibility to make sure that the we call it specials, so unaccompanied minors or wheelchairs, maybe any other situation where a passenger is going to require additional assistance. Those passengers are noted for the lead flight attendant, and they have their procedures and duties to evacuate those passengers. But they would probably, if for a wheelchair-bound passenger, they would help physically move you to the slide and then go down the slide. But I'll tell you what, the slides are so tough, you could legit go down a slide in a wheelchair, which would not recommend that because you obviously hit the ground extremely high velocity, but those slides are very, very tough material. So no worry there, but yes, they would come and assist you off the aircraft. And even up front, we get on the passenger manifest. We know pretty much where everybody's sitting in special assistance. So worst case scenario, say you had a terrible cabin crew and they got off the airplane. Before the captain egresses the aircraft, my responsibility, grab the aircraft logbook, the can as we call it. It's either here or I typically clip my can right here on the side of my seat. Grab the can. I go all the way to the back of the airplane, grab the ELT if necessary, and while I'm going all the way to the back of the aircraft, making sure there's nobody on board the airplane, and then of course from the back of the aircraft all the way back to the front, emergency permitting, right? Hopefully it's not on fire or anything like that. Making sure there are no souls left on board the aircraft, and then I'm cleared to egress. So the captain is the last one off the ship, whether it be a physical ship or an airplane. Seatbelt sign is coming off. Welcome to our cruise altitude. Look at these clouds. My goodness. Can an autistic person be a pilot? Would I fail the medical? Mika Morgan, it would depend upon the medical class that you could hold. So there are multiple levels to a medical certificate, and there are plenty of certificates issued to persons with disabilities. So it would depend strictly upon what medical certificate you could achieve. And that would be, you'd have to go to an FAA examiner and say, well, this is what I got. This is my disability here. What am I eligible for? And then they can walk you through the steps of what class of medical you could pick up. Did you get your ratings in any specific order? Any particular reason? Javier, well, ratings typically have to go in order, right? I wouldn't say have to go in order, but you need your private pilot first, and then you would get your commercial. You can't get a commercial without a private, right? You have to, yeah, that's right, yeah. So you have to get your private first, then you get your commercial. Now, typically the way it's done here in the U.S., it's private pilot license, instrument rating, commercial multi, and then that multi-commercial instrument. So you have to get all those, and that's from years ago. I don't know exactly what it is now. Probably some current flight instructors, if they're in the chat, probably can clear it up. But that's how it used to be. And then from getting all those ratings, you could either get your certified flight instructor, or you would go right in getting an ATP. But you got to build time somehow. The most common way to build time back in the day was through being a flight instructor. So my personal way, I went private pilot instrument. Then I did complex, because that was a rating. That's not I don't think that's a thing anymore. Had to do a complex rating. Then we did multi-engine commercial engine instrument. Then I did certified flight instructor instrument. And then I did certified flight instructor instrument multi. And then I went and did my flying around 135 after I built up all my time, corporate jet stuff. And then I got hired by first 121 carrier, which at that point is when I got my ATP. So I had all the necessary time requirements. And then the carrier that hired me gave me an airline transport pilot certificate with my type rating, my first type rating on the first type rating on a transport category aircraft. What's the difference between commercial pilot and ATPL? ATPL, or airline transport pilot, that's for operating transport category aircraft. So in the States, remember, I'm speaking to the U.S. here, you need to have an ATP to operate Part 121, which is your airlines. Now, you can have a restricted ATP, depending on a couple things. Well, which is less time, or if you're not of age, I believe it's 20. You got to be 23 to have an unrestricted ATP. So, but the ATP is required for transport category aircraft. I'm not technically wheelchair bound, just for distance, but I know I couldn't jump, so I wonder if they would change what procedures. Jeremy, you don't even So they say jump, and I'm not so sure why. I think that might be a time thing, right? Because remember, the flight attendants are trying to get the airplane completely evacuated in 90 seconds or less with half of the exits blocked. If everybody sat down and just kind of scooted off the edge, it would slow that process down. But of course, if you were physically bound to where you couldn't jump off, which, look, I've gone down an emergency exit slide before. It is freaking high up there. It's daunting. But if the airplane's on fire, you're probably not going to think twice about it. But if you were to just sit down and go off, it's totally fine as well. So I wouldn't worry about it or have any concerns about it at all. The cabin crews are highly trained, and it's a very efficient process of getting people off, and you would be totally safe. Now, I say that, but coming out hitting the ground, I mean, even a fully fit person, when you come down that slide, if you land wrong, you can twist your ankles, bust your wrist. I mean, it is that's why an evacuation is a very serious event, because if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, am I going to evacuate this aircraft? You have to take into account that there will be injuries. Even if there are no injuries on board the airplane right now, when you evacuate, you will have injuries, just because the nature of the slide is designed to get you down and away from the aircraft very rapidly. And it's a numbers game. Somebody is going to get hurt when they hit the bottom of the slide, whether it's a twisted ankle. Don't think you'd break a leg, but twist an ankle, sprain an ankle, break a finger, wrist, get scraped up. I mean, it would happen. So that's why an evacuation is a very serious event. You're going to take injuries on this. because that slide is very aggressive. When we train, so the ones that we train on for either initial or recurrent, you actually land on a soft mat it's in a big warehouse, and you come down the slide and you hit a mat. But I actually went down one for real. I talked about it on the podcast with the Embraer 190, and I tell you what, it's aggressive. So it's aggressive. Flight attendants have broken their feet going down the slide in training. There you go, Kevin Thomas says. So, yeah, it's a very serious event when you evacuate. All right, how's everything doing up front? We're looking good. We'll talk about our limitation on the descent. Let's go to our prog page here. Let's put in DFW. See how far we are. Direct distance 399. Beautiful. I was going to do should we do an outside view? I was really vibing with these clouds though, man. That just looks straight up real. I'll tell you what, let's turn the sim down a little bit. Let's turn you all the way down, right about there. See what kind of tunes we got on here today. Those clouds are amazing. All right, hopefully the music's not too loud. Let me know if the music's too loud. Those clouds are stunning, though. I wish the flight attendant call button was designed so I could feel it with my finger, because I never see it, and many flight attendant buttons are flush with the PSU surface. Yeah, Jeremy, you know, I remember you sent me an email a while back about wondering what the PSU unit was like, and I am very surprised as well that there's no, even like a braille or something up there to distinguish that button, because you're absolutely right. Sometimes it's recessed in the panel, and if you can't physically see it, you're absolutely right. It could be hard to find. DFW still shows a landing north at the moment. Landing north. Oh yeah, you know what? I think I had it set up for 17s. You're right. We need to land north. We're gonna flip it around. We'll get a little bit closer, and then we'll reconfigure the box for a north landing. That's gonna add some time. Didn't even think about that. We just turned back to south flow at 11 past. Oh, south flow? Really? That's crazy. The slides are one reason why you should always have a long pants when going flying. Canadian, that's a good tip. I'm guilty, though. I've gone with shorts many times. But I look at it as, hey, if I got to go down the emergency exit slide, if I get burns on my legs, like a carpet burn, not a carpet burn, but a slide burn, that's going to be the least of my worries, right? You know, balling it up and going off into the ground. James, you brought up a point. I don't know if you were talking about this, but did you guys see that? Was that Korean 330 that went off the runway recently? So somebody sent me the link. I haven't even read it yet. I don't know anything that happened, but that's pretty serious situation. Like, why is a 330 going off the runway? It was raining or something? What do you guys know in chat? Because I got to look that up when I get home. I was actually that was what I was going to do right before the stream, but I got busy. Hardest rating after private, instrument, or let's see, after private, it's going to depend. If you are a book person, Mike P, like if you are really good with numbers and studying, I don't say studying graphs, but if you're just good with numbers in general, like remembering numbers and courses and all that, your instrument is probably going to come easy to you. But if you struggle with that, instrument could be a little bit of a challenge, just because there's so much information that you got to retain when it comes to instrument procedures and courses and minimums and all that. But the other one that can trip people up is the commercial as far as the maneuvers go. So maybe you're a really good book person, but your stick flying is still a little bit lacking. That's where your commercial rating, you might have to do a couple extra lessons, because the minimums, or I shouldn't say the minimums, but the tolerances for deviations are a little bit tighter when you get to the commercial rating. So that can trip people up a little bit as well. And I've had students of both natures, right? I've had students that were extremely sharp when it came to the book and struggled when it came to the actual physical motor skill of flying the airplane. and getting the maneuvers within limits. And then I've had students on the flip side of that. I've had guys that could practically land the airplane on their first lesson, but they just would not study. They would not get their limitations down. They couldn't understand airspace because they didn't want to read about it. Like, it just, I've had both. But I think once you get past private, it honestly becomes more of a building block process, where when you go into your private pilot rating, it's just like getting hit in the face with a fire hose, because you don't know what you don't know, and there's so much that you don't know yet, and it's just so much information, check ride. After you're private, it's like, okay, I know the basics of flight, I know the basics of this. Now let me throw in some instrument stuff here. Let me build upon what I already know. I already know how to fly the airplane. Let me add some more tasks to what I know. So I really still think private is one of the, in my opinion, I think the private pilot is the hardest rating to get, just because of that factor alone of you don't know what you don't know, and there's so much of it. Jeremy says, one time the flight attendant button was in op, and I really needed help, and after the flight I asked the flight attendant to log it in a maintenance form. Worried me a bit. Interesting. And it was in op. Jeremy, so if that button is in op, I think you're absolutely right. So I think that would actually render that seat not usable. If I remember correctly, if the call button is not available, I think you would defer the seat. But how are crews going to know if someone doesn't tell them, right? So you did the right thing at telling them. You did it because they don't check it between each flight, go down, hit all the passenger service or hit the flight attendant call buttons. But it's a good thing you said something. They probably took care of it. They went around twice, so maybe forced it down. Says the aircraft crossed the runway at the end about 80 knots over the ground. Aircraft crossed runway ended about 80 knots over. Ground came to a stop about 360 meters past the runway end. So were they fast? They went around twice. That sounds like a oof. So if they went around twice, that to me automatically triggers they might be forcing it. Either they don't have enough fuel to go somewhere else. I wonder what the weather conditions were. Their third attempt, I don't know how fast. I get nervous, scared in an airplane, but that would definitely be one of them. I think knowing the weather, etc., and how Cebu can be sketchy. Interesting, Danny. Very interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to look that up. I'm going to do I'm sure Mentor Pilot will have something on that too. But that's a recent incident with a wide-body airplane that really caught my attention. Like, what? Something really had to go wrong for that. Get their itis strikes again, AJ. You could be right. The thing is, if you go around twice, it's a little bit more than get their itis. It now becomes hey, we need to get on the ground because of fuel. Winds are now 160 at 9. Ooh, so we might be able to land 1.7, Andre. Cool deal. Heavy rain. Reminds me of the Asiana 777 crashed in SFO. I saw that happen. Well, I didn't see it happen, but I was supposed to land behind that airplane like a little whiles back. I had a hold over the bay. In that case, auto throttle disengaged, came down 2R too fast. Yeah, Rob, I remember that day well. My friend. I was supposed to take a 99. Was it a 99? Yeah, I was in the 99 into SFO. And I took off. They gave me delay vector. Something came up. They said hold present position. Basically said it's closed. Airport's closed. So I returned back to Oakland, actually Hayward, and went into the crew room. Shut down the 99, went in the crew room, and everybody's standing in there looking at the TV, and we're just like, what is going on? Crazy. Gustavo, what's up, my friend? He says, yeah, they departed the runway end. With 80 knots of ground speed. Ho, rumor mill is high and fast on final with a slippery runway. Wow. So they departed the end at 80 knots. So they didn't slow down. Hydroplaning, that's another thing that comes right to my mind. If you're in heavy rain, were they hydroplaning? With something like this, would the PIC be dismissed? Ailerons into the wind, it's going to have to go through an extensive review. They're going to look at everything. Now, with it being Korean Air and the mantra of Asian carriers, I would not be surprised that crew would be axed immediately, ailerons in the wind. Now, had that, if that happens here in the U.S., I think it would be a little bit more of a due process where they will fully investigate, because it's just us speculating here on a stream is like, we really have no idea what happened. We need to look at the tapes. We need to listen to the cockpit voice recorder, see all of the conditions and factors before you could place judgment. But the Asian culture is very unforgiving when it comes to accidents like this. So I would not be surprised if indeed they both got axed, right? Both of them, or the whole crew, really. Sounds like a similar situation to the American MD-80 that landed without speed brakes armed. Maybe braking action was very poor due to weather. Mistake made during setup for the third attempt. You have very good points there, Big D. I mean, I've been in the situations where landing in extremely heavy rain. Did I talk about that one yet on the podcast? I don't think I did yet. We're going to do that one live. That's the next one. So my last podcast I did live, we talked about my go-arounds in wind shear, but the one we're going to talk about after that is where I landed in probably the heaviest rain of my life, my career. Top one, or it might be, I honestly think it might be the most rain I've landed in. And it was, I tell you what, man, hydroplaning is a real thing. I saw it full force there in a heavy 321. So that's a factor that comes into play, you know. Hopefully they had auto brakes on, but then, you know, if you got auto brakes on, you start hydroplaning. It shouldn't hydroplane because it would stop the rotation. I don't know. We're gonna need more information, but I'm very curious. Very curious for that. Jeremy says, if I'm seating in economy but closer to first class, could I use the first class lav? I heard you have to use lav in the ticket cabin only. Yes, you're probably gonna have to use the lav in the ticket where you're seated. So. It would, but again, that would depend upon the flight crew, or the cabin crew, I should say. Maybe we'll need to do man, if that rain, I would love to do an After Dark podcast live in a rainstorm from the house. Something about the rain just like really motivates me. I think I'm opposite to most people. People want to wake up and see sunny skies to be motivated. When I wake up and it's overcast and or raining, I get so much energy. I get juiced, man. I'm going to take a quick lav break here as we approach the estimated time to P. Right here, so ETP, or estimated time to P. I'm going to run out, take a quick lav break, and then we'll finish up a couple discussions here about what we're going to have to take into account. Not particular for these motors, the CFMs, but the IAEs. I had some additional procedures we had to take into account for our descent into icing conditions. We'll talk about that. We'll prep for the approach. Hopefully we'll land southbound. I'll be right back in just about, maybe 3 minutes. Give me a second to hit the lav and turn on the fan in here because it's getting hot in the office. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Ooh, those clouds don't look all that hot. Let's go out here. J.E.T.S. Jets, Jets, Jets. Man, it felt so good to beat down those Broncos yesterday. Sorry, Broncos fans. Let's ride. All right, I had to turn a fan on because it was getting pretty hot. I have discovered a critical oversight for the NVIDIA or the RTX 3090 and winter weather. So here at the V1HQ, the air conditioning is now working, which is great. However, when it's cold outside, the air conditioning doesn't come on because it's cold outside and the office building is relatively cool, 72 degrees. However, when I go live, doors shut, cubicle gets extremely hot and no air comes on because the building is at like 72, but my room is at 92. So we have a critical oversight here that we need to address for future live streams because I'm sweating in my room right now. Packers fan here, V1, be careful now. Oh, that's right. Ailer runs into the wind. What's up, man? That's right. You were at the game, right? Yes. For some reason, is your name Stuart? Did you change your name? For some reason, I thought you were Stuart. Either way, Packers fan, dude. I don't know what y'all happened. You know, it made the Jets win all that less impressive since you guys lost to the Washington Commanders. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with you guys. Aaron over there is gonna have his hands full with the Buffalo Bills Sunday Night Football. Oof. I'm a Chargers fan. I think our season is done. Yeah. I hope that turn is in our flight plan. Oh, look at that. Freaking awesome. Chargers, yeah. I thought the Chargers would be a lot better than they are, honestly. Okay, so you are Stuart. All right. Maybe that was your Discord name or something? Your room needs packs on high flow. Jeremy, it does, man. I turned on one of my air conditioning, my fan, but it's I'll tell you what, the 3090 gets toasty. Love it. Realistically, the Packers should have lost to New England and their third-string QB. Oh, yeah. Ever watch Kurt Warner's QB breakdown videos? Oh, yeah. I haven't seen the one about Russell Wilson, though, Fubar, but I love Kurt Warner, man. I think he's a great dude. I like watching his stuff. Any of his clips, too, I think he's got some really good insight. Plus, my dad was a diehard Raiders fan, but then eventually became a hardcore Cardinals fan. And it was the whole Kurt Warner saga, Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden. Good times, man. Okay, your Discord name is that. All right. I thought I was going crazy because I saw your logo, but all right. We're good. We're on the same page now. Kind of looking forward to the snow season, just not looking forward to the altitude correction. Oh, yeah, you guys got to deal with that up there. In the 48 states, even the Northeast, like Manchester, Maine, rarely do we have to deal with temperature correction. But, yeah, you start going up in the northern Canada, Halifax. Love Halifax, Nova Scotia, man. Love it up there. But, yeah, that's where you got to do some serious temperature corrections. Will I be getting the 4090? Max Parks, I don't know, man. I'm seeing all this awesome stuff about it. My buddy just picked one up. That's actually another Airbus pilot friend of mine. He just picked up a 4090, and he's loving it. Thing is, my case won't fit. I'm going to need a different motherboard because I need a different processor. So basically, me getting a 4090 means rebuild a whole new PC. And there's a lot going on right now. I'll probably discuss it in the next V1 After Dark live podcast, just because I keep saying there's a lot going on stream. You guys are probably like, yeah, he always says that. But no, there's actually a ton of stuff going on right now on home life. So I just don't know if I'm ready to just commit to building a whole new rig and if it would be even worth it right now. There's a lot of moving parts happening behind the scenes. Jackson Hole, yeah, how could I forget? Nunchup at Jackson Hole. Yeah, up there along the border of the U.S., you may potentially be doing some serious temp corrections as well. Have ever flown into Calgary? Dude, it's been so long since I've done Canada. Is Calgary West or East Canada? I've flown into basically every major Canadian airport that is, if you look at the U.S., the half if you split Canada in half, the eastbound section, I've flown into mostly every major Canadian airport on the eastern half. I haven't flown into anything on the western side of Canada. Okay, it is west, Kevin Thomas says. There you go. See, my geography is not good. I'm just a cowboy here in Texas, man. I'm not even my geography is not all that good. Which you would think it would be much better for a pilot, but the thing is, if I don't fly there, I really don't know where it is. Given a stream at 1080p 4090 is much overkill. Even a 3090. Oh, there's Romulus. Look, Romulus has the 36-month badge, the V1 wings. I might edit those a little bit, Romulus. I might have to edit them, but he's got the V1 wings. Now, you are officially pinned to your chest, man. V1 wing membership, 36 months. I believe it's 36 months. Yeah, 36 months, 3 years. And then there'll be another one for 48 months as well, and I'll double stack the wings. Double-breasted wings. Maybe a hat, too. Be like Delta. Courtesy of, I believe it was Tom. Was it Tom? I think Tom Pasco sent me those. Maybe it was Tom, or was it you, Fubar? A couple of y'all have sent me some good badge ideas. Wings look great on me. There you go, Romulus. With a 4090, you don't need DLSS. Yeah. There you go. Oh, Tom's in chat. What's up, man? Tom, don't worry about it, man. I did that from my Mac when I was on an overnight. I uploaded it. But I can take those, and now that I'm at my streaming PC, I can probably edit the image here and make them pop a little bit more. But I really love the idea of going from stripes, epaulets, to wings once you reach 36 months and up. I think that's awesome. Because everyone wants to get their wings, right? That's the end goal. You can wear all the stripes you want, but you got to get wings, right? You got to have the wings. Would be cool if you operated into Vancouver someday. Maybe, Kevin, you never know. I love the star. All inbound waypoints are named after Dallas Stars players. Oh, yeah, on the Jovum. So I already talked about the other one. Let's see. Victory, Jovum, Missile, Siler, Fuel. We're all in there. We're looking good. Probably could start planning. Well, we got about 30 miles. About 250 miles I like to start doing our descent preps. Man, look, flying over this overcast, though, is just, a little bit of chop, a little bit of light chop. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt sign on. Probably going to have some legit chops. It's been pretty windy out here. Looking forward to Patriots Bears tonight. McShiggity Pilot, what's up, man? Is it the Bears? They're playing the Bears? They're going to destroy the Bears. I really hope the Bears win. I need a Bears win tonight. Do we have any Bears fans in chat? Let me see. McShiggity, but you and me both, man. I'm going to hang up this stream. We're going to land in DFW. We're going to go home. We're going to fire up the smoker. We're going to do, I don't know, this is a question. Should I do teriyaki chicken tonight? We can do boneless, skinless thighs, do amazing teriyaki chicken, or I could do skin-on chicken thighs, smoke them with like this buttery rub that I use, like a butter steakhouse rub, and then I put them in the air fryer after you smoke them for an hour, and they come out with the crispy skin. Oh, it's delicious. I don't know which way we should go. Game is right down the street from you, McShiggity. Nice, dude. Yeah, traffic is horrendous. I believe it. Well, all the more reason to sit inside and watch a live stream or fire up a flight yourself, huh? Glad to have you on board, McShiggity Pilot. Good to see you, man. Go Giants. Is Ditka driving the bus? Mac Jones is back, Andre. Tony, you're on TOD and it's smooth? Excellent, excellent, excellent. We'll keep the seatbelt sign on just for a few more. Well, let's see. I guess we'll turn them back off here. Flight attendants love that when you turn it on and off because they have to make a bunch of different announcements. But I don't know about this club music. What is this? This song is legit called Douche. Not even joking. By Dejana. We'll skip that one. Whoa. We picked up the Christy playlist. I know Christy Ionsku's not here, but I think we picked up his playlist for club music. Teriyaki chicken with some rice and some Asian flavors. Oh, you know it, Jeremy. You know it, man. Cali Zimmer. Yeah, it's delicious, dude. I'll put it in the food chat tonight. I have perfected the smoked chicken thigh. Literally, I do not think I love teriyaki chicken. I don't think I've had teriyaki chicken anywhere better than mine. Perfected it, and the crispy thighs I've also perfected as well. I'm going to skip this whole section because I don't know what songs these are. That's the intro song, but I like this song. This song's got some beats to it. We'll get ready for our descent here. We'll enjoy just a few more minutes here with this song, and then we'll set up for the descent. Why not both? That's a good point. I could do half and half. Could do half. Well, because the problem is if you do the teriyaki chicken, when the thighs are on the smoker, I got to get the rice cooking. I got to get the veggies going. So it's, it's a lot of work to do that and then get the other one. Like if you do the crispy thighs, we'll just call them crispy butter thighs. That sounds pretty damn good. Crispy butter thighs, if I do those, you don't really need chicken. You don't really need rice and veggies. You need maybe a little bit of asparagus or maybe a nice leafy salad, a little Caesar salad. Caesar salad would actually be perfect with that. Ooh, I'm getting hungry now. How do you smoke meat without it becoming too dry, though? Jeremy, that is the master question, my friend. That is the question. And it just comes with practice. And I got to tell you, the smoker that I have now makes it really easy. I still have my offset smoker where I have wood burning, actual wood and all that. But I use my pellet grill now, my pellet smoker. Makes it so easy, Jeremy. I literally turn it on. I say, I want you to be at 220 degrees with maximum smoke. Boom, done. I hit the button and it does it, and it stays there. Modulates the temperature and everything. It's cheating mode. But it makes cooking so easy. And then it just comes with a little bit of experience knowing how long you want to keep your food on there. You can use a temperature probe, see if the internal temperature of the meat is done. I go by time and by feel just because I've got some experience with it. But when you start doing big cuts of meat like briskets, pork butts, things like that, then you're really going to be paying attention to your temperature probes to get that internal temp right. But as long as you don't cook it past where it needs to be, it'll be juicy. Legally Blind Fly, you're getting hungry now? Oh yeah, I'm hungry right now too. Drew Manis says, hey everyone, I think my message got caught in the busy chat. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, Drew. But do you recommend getting a degree and fly on the side or skip? Hard to say if they will start requiring that again. Drew Manis. Dude, I'm sorry I missed your chat there. The chat was wild earlier today. Honestly, look, if you want to fly in the current environment, as we start rocking out here, I would do everything you can to get your ratings done. Get them in, get them done, and then hopefully you're either working at an airline or building time, and then you can do your degree on the side. And I'm only saying that right now because the current environment that we face here in the U.S. it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy of what they want. They need pilots so bad. So the requirement to have a degree is not even a requirement anymore. So now if you have it, it's not a bad thing at all. It's actually going to put you ahead of everybody who doesn't have it. But honestly, if I'm being completely straight up, that's what I would suggest right now is just get your ratings done and get building time because the airlines need people right now. Kelly says, I'm a great believer in cheater mode when it comes to cooking. You and me both, dude. Auto smoke just like auto thrust. Absolutely, Jeremy. And I can even check it from my phone. So I could be sitting on the couch watching the football game, and I can pull up my phone app and be like, oh, the smoker's at 220 degrees. This meat's at 120 internal temp. Boom. I can adjust it. I can turn it up, turn it down. I can turn the smoke up, turn the smoke down. It's great. Do you think the 1,500-hour minimum rule should be reduced? Mike P., no, I do not. I do not at all. Lazy Q is the only way. That's right, Keith. Tom asked, do they look for specific degrees or just bachelors? Just a bachelor's, Tom. And I always said that get a degree in something other than aviation because it gives you that fallback option, right? Lose a medical, airline goes out of business, whatever it may be. There's so much that can happen in the span of a career. Have something to fall back on. So they really do not care at all if it's an aviation degree or underwater basket weaving, my friend. Do a smoked turkey for Thanksgiving, Jeremy. I think I'm going to do it. Legit. So I got the whole week of Thanksgiving off this year, guys. I can't tell you the last time I had the entire week of Thanksgiving off. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to have some family in town. I might go out of town as well, but I'm going to try to do some streaming when I can. But Thanksgiving is about family as well. So I don't know how active. I don't want to make any promises. But the thing is, I'm going to be pretty busy, even more busy flying real world stuff because I basically sold my soul to get the week of Thanksgiving off. So I'm doing a lot of flying on the front side of the month. I mean, I think I only have a handful of days off between the start of November and the week of Thanksgiving because I bunched up all my days off to be on that week. Drew says, thank you so much for that. I can't wait to start building time again. Hopefully one day I'll be flying the big J.E.T.S like you. Thanks for the streams, too. Drew Manis, absolutely, my friend. Glad I can help you out. I'm sure you'll be up here soon enough, my friend. Stick with it. Dan Rubel says, I'm at my third year in aeronautical engineer. I hope this degree to have as my backup. Not it increases the chance of pilot job just in case things not. And Danny, that's a good thing. And I should have said that, it doesn't, as far as it not mattering what your degree is in, to have something to fall back on. But if you want to fall back on something aviation related, then absolutely, man, having that degree. Mine was aviation safety. So my degree was aviation safety because I always thought NTSB stuff was cool. Like figuring out what happened and tracking it back and really determining what went wrong in a string of events. I just found that whole process fascinating. So yeah, mine is also related to aviation. It doesn't hurt you or benefit you either way as far as getting a pilot job per se, but you're absolutely right. If you have something to fall back on too, so that if you want to fall back in the aviation sector, heck yeah, man. Don't forget your famous smoked cream cheese. You must make more, Jeremy. I know I really want to make some tonight, but I'm trying. I'm not really fasting right now, but I'm trying to get in shape. I got something coming up on. Well, it's coming up on Wednesday. I've been trying to minimize all of the non-essential eatings because I got something coming up on Wednesday that might share with the podcasters. Basically, I need to fit back into the same suit that I wore when I got married. So. That's one tip I'm going to give all you gentlemen out there right now. If you're not married yet, and even if you're not married, what you need to do is when you turn 30, now if you get married before 30, whatever, if you get married at 25, you buy a suit when you get 25. But if you're not married, when you turn 30, buy a fitted suit for yourself. Pants, shirt, maybe not necessarily shirt, but pants, vest, jacket. Get it fitted, get it tailored. Make sure you can fit into that same suit when you're 35, when you're 40, when you're 45, when you're 50, all bets are off. But that's some advice that was given to me, and I think it's really, really good advice. Mine is aerospace engineering. Ooh, that's cool, Blue Mac. That's good stuff, man. Also a very neat field, very neat. Dorian says, noted, I turn 30 next year. There you go, Dorian. Trust me, you'll thank me, my friend. You will thank me. Do you know what limit of ground competence on charts means? Do you know what the limit of ground competence? That I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a language or a translation there, something getting lost in translation. But limit of ground competence, not ringing a bell, my friend. Sorry. Do you have a specific chart I could look up, maybe as an example? I'm 44 and still have pants from college. There you go, Keith B. There you go, man. After 35, that gets a little tough. Tom, I know, man. I hear you, dude. Jay says, I haven't had a holiday off in years. Gotta love being junior. Jay, we were all there, my friend. We've all been there. We've all been there, brother. I flew the other day with a 737 Captain in the Piper Navajo. Ooh, good airplane, man. I flew that, burned a lot of holes in the sky with a Navajo. For fun, after getting my multi-IFR, we flew 2 approaches in low IFR conditions, and damn, it's crazy how bad I am against him. So 1,500 hours it is. Canadian. Dude, the Navajo, tell you what, man, that Navajo is a beast of an airplane. Chieftain as well. I mean, I flew some in the Navajo. Most of my Navajo Chieftain was in Chieftain time, but I did fly the Navajo as well. But that airplane is an absolute beast. And I think it's not so much about like being bad. You know, someone who has less than 1,500 is a bad pilot. It's you cannot put a price on experience. I don't care how good one may think they are. And I'm telling you, there have been some absolute stud pilots that I've flown with, that I've instructed, that have had very, very, very little time. But you cannot put a price on experience, especially when it comes to this career. So that's why I think the 1,500 rule is important. Now, I remember when that rule came about, and I was not really for it when it came about, but now being on the other side of it, I absolutely agree. And I think over time, we go back to that old cliche saying that I've said a lot this stream, is you don't know what you don't know. And it could never be more true than it is with aviation. So, yeah, you may know the books and you may know your airplane, but if you don't have the experience with your airplane, testing it up against those book numbers, testing it up against real-world numbers, being thrown into a scenario that has never been brought up to you before in book format, how are you going to react? The only way you know how you're going to react is if you've experienced a situation similar to that, and you can build off of it. So it's tough. I've seen the 250-hour initials in the A320. Some do it with very long IOE. Roberto, man, that's a good point Roberto brings up. The Airbus was designed so low-time pilots could fly commercial jets safely. That was the initial premise behind all the automation and the safety, in particular the safety with the flight control laws, right? Can't stall it, can't overspeed it, can't overstress it. These all go into effect to help aid pilots with lower time fly large commercial jets reliably. So that's also, you think of the Airbus, you can't stall it, but here we go. Now we're looking at an A330 that just went off the runway. I'd be curious, and I'm not saying it's the crew's fault or a lack of experience on the crew at all, but that's one of the things I'm curious about now is let's look into the pilots. I mean, they obviously made 2 go-arounds, so they obviously had 2 scenarios that didn't look good, and they made a judgment call to go around, which is good. What happened on that 3rd attempt? What is their level of experience with that? I don't know. And it's possible with long initial operating experience. Yeah, I believe it's possible with 250 hours, Roberto. Absolutely believe it's possible. Absolutely. Isn't that still the minimum in Europe? Like, don't you only need 250 hours? I thought, or is it 500 or somewhere around there? I know it's a lot lower than the U.S., but it's also a different type of program. I think, in EASA land, EASA and ATPL, you're doing some hardcore advanced theory right out of the gate, 200 hours. Wow. Pretty sure what I've seen on the charts, the limit of ground comp just means the limit of where the ground ATC is responsible. Okay, maybe that's it. Chaos. Keith B. Jeez. Ryan, no, I have not heard those 2 artists. I feel like there's a cap on how much you can learn experience in a Cessna 172. I don't think so. I think that's a hazardous attitude. I still think I have stuff I could learn in a 172. So never stop learning. Never stop learning, man. We are students of aviation, and you should keep that mindset all the way until you set the parking brake for the very last time. Jovum, where are we at? Let's load up the Jovum. Where the heck is my Jovum? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Jeffrey. Why don't I have the Jovum? Let's just set a lower altitude right now because we need to start down. Let's set 12,000. We'll push it in. Uh-oh. Why are we not descending? Open descent. Mock descent. There we go. Chart 60-2 Mike. Oh, there it is. Thank you. The Jovum arrival into DFW. Let's go ahead and kill the music here, at least for a little bit here. Let's get the rest of this airplane set up. So, Jovum 4, there we are after Mdano. This is not going to bode well for our 1-7 transition. Show 1-2000 at Jovum. San Antonio's on. We probably get a new star. So, if we're going to land 1-7, let's look at a different arrival, because we're going to need 1-7. So, no ATC is on. Would we be on the Boov? Nope, that's from the Barry 1. That's from the other side. Buoy 6. I used to fly this all the time in turboprops. Bridge. That's from the east. Where are my air traffic controllers in chat? Give me a northwest arrival to land south. Cedar Creek? No. Oh, it's not that one. I should have known that. Gibby. Could do this one. The Gibby 2. That's pretty boring. Victory. Oh, yeah, duh. The Victory gonna... Duh. Victory. The Victory. We're going to take the Victory arrival down to Paup. So we're going to do this 1-7 center arrival. And we're going to switch the star to the Victory. JetBlue 357. Dallas is landing south. Change your arrival. Present position. Direct Victory. And then Victory 2 arrival. So we'll do this. We'll just do insert. And then we'll go direct Victory. What is going on here? I feel like... Turn the sounds up. Heading mode. Direct to Victory. Nav. Alright, we're going direct Victory. Paup is at 5,000 feet, so we'll set 5,000. We'll re-push for managed, so we are... What the heck is going on here? Why can't I manage my descent now? Is managed descent broken? If I pull for open, push for managed. Okay, well, in this case, we'll set 10,000. Thrust idle open descent now with IAE engines and not CFMs. On the descent with a pack off, we actually need to turn on engine anti-ice because of the idle rollback protection. So this is an IAE V2500 only limitation. You would not need to do this in CFM engines, but since we're trying to recreate a flight that I flew with IAEs, we're going to turn the engine anti-ice on now. And you saw the N1s go ahead and pick up a little bit there. So what IAE has come out, and there's a bulletin depending on the engine model, serial number that you have. If you have a bleed in op or a pack in op on the descent, you want to have, or you must turn on your engine anti-ice regardless of icing conditions, because it needs to up the idle speed. It needs more demand. There's a potential for flame out. So we're going to get engine anti-ice on. We're descending to 10,000 for Victory. And check your flight phase. Oh, you know what? We never got... yeah. Fake pilots in chat. We never got to our top of climb. All right, so I tell you what. We'll just stick in open descent right now. We were still in, we never got to top of climb. That's funny. It says heading active. Yeah, it also didn't capture, did it? I need to come a little bit more left. Let's do this. Let's just redirect it. We'll go redirect to Victory. Insert. Nav. Nav is green. Thrust idle open descent. We're naving up. 330 on the descent. Things are looking good. Let's get our minimums in there. Perf data. We'll go next phase. Current altimeter at DFW. I guess we can pull it up through here. What would I do without you guys? Yeah, I'm still in heading mode. Are we landing on 17? Yeah, we're going to land on 17 center, Jeremy. 17 center will be our landing. We're parking east side. JetBlue. Weather data. Here we go. 150 at 6. 150 at 6 knots. Temperature is 19. And QNH is 2968. Minimums are 762. Got our LS push buttons on. 110.3, 762 in the Barrow. 29er A68 opposite. So 29er 68 low pressure. Ding. 29er 68 is set once, twice, and 3 times. Let's go ahead and pick up that descent. We're definitely going to be high now, so let's go ahead and go 10,000. We'll do this. We'll do 10,000. We're trying to slow down. We're not going to slow down. We need. We're going to be high over Victory. JetBlue 357. Roger. Just comply with the altitude first if you can. So let's go speed brake out. Dive and drive. Altitude first. So we can go speed brakes. We can increase our speed on an open descent. We'll do our best. I don't think we're going to make 6,000 feet there or not. We're going to try it, though. Here we go. It's almost like you need 2 people up there. Chaos, I know, man. We'll get our Throttletek cam online as well. No coffee. I don't think JetBlue operating 319s. I don't know. I don't know, Lular pilot. Real airline pilot. Yeah, I know. I was wondering how come that the field of view isn't regarded important in flight simming. I do sim racing, calculating proper field of view like distance from your monitor most important. I'm not sure why it's not really an important topic of discussion. I mean, this looks pretty realistic to me as far as field of view. I can just see kind of out here, peripheral vision. But we are descending into some stuff. So we're going to level at 10,000. We're going to come all the way back to 250 knots now. Let's go 250. Good thing we don't have a center on to yell at us. And we're going to slow it all the way up. And then we will eventually descend down to 5,000. Flight control speed brake still out. Oop. Let's go ahead and get our little mini speed brakes on as well. And let's go ahead and get our seatbelt sign on. We'll get our second LS push button on over here. Big rain on final on the ground. Oh, Tony Johns, thanks for the report, my friend. So we need to get down. So we're going to go full speed brake, autopilot off. And I'm going to set 5,000 for pope and open descent. So we're hand flying it down into the clouds we go. We're speeding a little bit, but we got full speed brakes out. Autopilot is off. We're hand flying. Oh, we need to get flight recorder up too. Shouldn't have turned off the autopilot just yet. Roberto sounds like, oh yeah, Team Vodka brings up a great point, Roberto. If you're still here, my friend. Tillers. Everybody wants a tiller. He's got a good point. If you could make a nice replica tiller that doesn't cost super expensive, bridging the gap between like a, just like with everything else, entry level. There actually is no, there isn't even an entry level tiller, so you could probably make an entry level tiller, still sell like hotcakes, because there are no tillers out there on the market that I'm aware of, other than the one I have, which is no longer in production. So we're going to descend all the way down, full speed brakes. So the reason I got the autopilot off, chat, do you guys remember? Autopilot off in a 320 will give us full speed brake deployment. So I don't know why it's giving me a caution, because we're at thrust idle. We should be anyway. So that's, I know it's out, but it should be out. We got to slow all the way up to 5,000. Descend all the way down to 5, and then we'll slow there. Exactly, Fubar. Fubar's got it. All right, so now speed out. So now it would ding at you if I kept that speed brake out. But now I want to come all the way back to 180. We level here at 5. We're going to set 180 knots. We're going to start slowing all the way up to final. Well, not to final, but before we get on final approach, we want to slow it down. Let's activate and confirm the approach phase. And out of 10,000, pilot monitoring would have notified flight attendants to prepare for landing. My screens are really dark. That's because I don't have this stupid thing down, the eye adaptation thing. All right, we're 5,000 at pop. JetBlue 357, turn right. Fly heading 110, descend and maintain 3,000. 110, descend and maintain 3,000, JetBlue 357. So thrust idle, open descent heading. Now we can extend the line off of Zing 357 inbound. Insert, pull heading so we don't join the nav course. There we go. There's VFE next -10, extending flaps 1. Here we go. We will call it the V1 tiller. Let me get working on it, guys. Roberto. There you go. I think that would sell like hotcakes because it doesn't matter what airplane you fly. Every commercial jet has a tiller. Well, I say every. I'm sure there's some commercial jet out there that doesn't have a tiller, but that's a great point. All right, we are 190. We're coming back. So you can see with the engine anti-ice on, the higher idle, a little bit harder to slow down. True story, how to deal with that in real life. Here's our status page. When we extended flaps 1, it brought up our status. That's associated, clear status. There's VFE next, -10. Let's go ahead and extend flaps 2 as we look at the beautiful clouds outside coming in DFW. Ooh, Roberto, you have the real 320 tiller. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent. C-130J is going to need a cool tiller for DCS. Thomas Ray, what's up, man? Dude, that's awesome. I cannot wait, dude. You got me so jacked for that airplane. I cannot wait, my friend. All right, we're 4.2, descending 3,000. We're 180 knots, flaps 2, so we're in a good position now. We're back caught up. We can actually turn in a little bit more. JetBlue 357, flight heading 120. Cleared, actually it would be more like this. JetBlue 357, flight heading 120, 3,000 tel established, cleared ILS 17 center approach. 3 tel established, 120 on the heading, cleared ILS 17 center approach, JetBlue 357. JetBlue 357, contact tower. JetBlue 357, no tower. Tower, JetBlue 357, clear to land. Here we go, line the lights on, there we go. We did all the communications for us, and we're on final, we're ready to go. We wouldn't be cleared to land this far out, but semantics. Zing is at 3,000. We're at 3,000. We're 180. Glide slope blue, lope blue. We are looking good. Coming in over the DFW. Rob says it's totally gray and dark out here. It looks totally gray out here. Actually, where I'm at, what airport is this? Denton? 35E. Ooh, look at the windmills down there. Is this Denton? Or I think we're over Denton right now. I think this is 35E. Oh no. This is, yeah. Yeah, because this is Louisville over here, right? Louisville at Roberts. Looks like we're about to enter some wind. Enter some rain, maybe. Let's turn up the sounds. If you want rain, skip to DFW and slide into Dallas. Kevin, we have an INOP pack, and we had a INOP APU, and we had a failed automatic engine start. So we had to do a ground air, ground power start. Then we had to do a cross-bleed manual engine start as well. And now we're dealing with a pack INOP. So for approach, engine anti-ice needs to be on. For the pack being INOP in the descent phase. So we're going to leave engine anti-ice on all the way down to the ground. Even though we don't need it right now, because if you look at the temperature, it's plus 21, so we're above icing conditions. However, the MEL, if you had an IAE engine, would tell you to keep the engine anti-ice on right now. So CFM, you wouldn't need it at all, but I just kind of see how Phoenix has got it modeled here, and they sure did model the engine anti-ice with the N1 increase. It's pretty cool to see that. Entering the rain here, this is why this environment is so realistic to me. I love this sim for this right now. We're flying into the rain. Gotta love it. Already more likes than views. You guys are absolutely awesome. If you haven't already, if you like this content, take a moment right now. Please do hit that like button because again, I do not have a schedule. So when you like the video, it helps the channel with the YouTube algorithm. And gets the video to more people, so it really does help. And it's totally free of charge to smash that like button. It's a good way to support the channel and me. Appreciate you guys. All right, glide slope is not alive. Localizer is alive. We're Loc Star. We're joining the final. Forward traffic, JetBlue 357, about 5 miles outside of Zing for the ILS 17 center. Forward traffic. Just landed in Boston, all us down to 200. Oof. What was the ceiling here? Broken at 800, so interessante. So we are in the thick of it now. Did we turn on the rest of our lights? Wing lights on. That's cool. I also stay interstate. All right, let's start the recording now, shall we? Recording is on. A little bit of a wind shift here. Look at the light shaft coming through that cloud. This is the dynamic environment where I'm telling you, it just is so immersive to me. I think it's sorely lacking in X-Plane, unfortunately. But this is one of the big pluses to Microsoft for me. See, we're in and out of these range shafts, in and out of the range shafts. You get the sound, you get the effects. You can see the airplanes pitching up here a little bit as we get these wind shifts coming in here. Gusty winds. This is Louisville Lake, Pier 121 Marina. Man, I fish this lake all the time. Love this lake. Love fishing right here by the golf course. Caught some nice bass right there in that cove. Dam is always good for fishing too. A couple brush piles out here. There's 35E right there. That's what I'll be driving on the way home. So I'm always looking at traffic. Not always, but I always do take a look, see if there's traffic for my drive home. Glide slope star going out to set 3,000 blue. And right about 2,000 feet above touchdown, we will manage it up and go gear down. I just want to say we're all counting on it. All right, I kind of want to hand fly it, so we'll configure early. We'll do this. We'll go manage speed, gear down, flaps 3, and now we're going to hand fly it. Autopilot's coming off. Screw it. Auto thrust is coming off. Make Roberto proud. We're going to use actual thrust levers. VFE next minus 10 flaps full. Spoilers are armed. Runways in sight. Landing. Jiffy 2200. Check. Landing check is cabin crew advised. Auto thrust off. ECAM memo. Landing all green. Landing check assist complete. Clear to land. DFW traffic. JetBlue 357 short final. 17 center. DFW. Check close hold. Nah, we're in an Airbus today. Ooh, a little bit slow. So in real life, I would probably have my FO give me a couple extra knots here on the app. Really close to that VLS.
1,000.
2 or 3 knots would be nice, but I am running that kind of a closed beta version of the Fenix. So it changes the energy state here a little bit. Just trying to leave it be what it tells me to fly. Look at that range shaft at the far end of the airport. How cool is that? Oh yeah, I can definitely feel the wind is swirling around. Went from a tailwind to a quartering headwind now. Bring home food. Oh, my wife's in chat. Rip. Oh, we're doing chicken thighs tonight. 2 whites, 2 reds. We're looking good. Kind of does look like a microburst at the end, doesn't it?
Minimum. $100.
A little bit high here.
50, 40, 30.
Whoa!
20.
Kind of fell out from under me there. Jeez. Nice gust
10.
there. Fell out from under me.
5.
Spoilers, we got the end of the touchdown zone, but man, that'll be a fun replay to watch. That'll be a fun replay to watch. Reverse screen, manual braking. Let's go idle.
Traffic Southwest 1031, Takeoff 13 left, Switzer, 6 departure.
Whew. A 0 feet per minute. Laura B's in chat. That was a butter, huh? I'll tell you what, we're going to analyze that replay because I have some things I want to say about that landing. I don't know if it was a 0 feet per minute, but I'll tell you what, something about that felt pretty amazing. And I think any real-world bus drivers in chat might agree with me on what I'm about to talk about here. But we're going to go ahead and taxi this way. We'll reconfigure. Normally you wouldn't reconfigure here, but let's go ahead and reconfigure since we probably hold short. We'll do flaps up. Gotta love it. We'll stop the recording. We floated a little bit, but only because we needed to save it from the loss of lift that incurred. And it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think, you know, yes, we were a little bit long on the float there, but that's not every landing, contrary to popular belief, when you come over the numbers, is it stable all the way down to the ground. There are a lot of times, clear right, clear left, clear across. There are times where you get a destabilization factor coming over the numbers, whether it's a wind gust or a little bit of a wake turbulence, anything like that where it can destable you low to the ground. That's where your piloting skills, you got to come in. You got to restable that aircraft, prevent either a smash or a float outside the touchdown zone. But there are scenarios where you need to kind of, that touchdown zone can come into your favor. Now, if we were landing on a super short runway and that happens, then, you know, maybe you end up having to go around. But we'll do that. We'll do wing light off. We'll do that off as well. Nice strobes. Check your strobes. Done. Where are we going? We're going, I think we'll go right over here where United parks. We desperately need a nice DFW, don't we? Can you ever land too soft to trigger weight on wheel switch? Jeremy, yes and no. Like, you can glitch it out a little bit where it won't let you go into reverse. Like, I've had the thrust lever or reverser unlock come up briefly because you're kind of on the ground, so it lets you go into reverse, but then the airplane didn't think you were on the ground yet. So yes, absolutely you can trick it, but it only lasts for like a second, less than a second. But that's the goal, right, on every landing, is to trick the airplane. We'll go over here to common use gates. So we got unknighted to the right. Ooh, there's a JetBlue gate right there. We'll take this one right here. And then we'll do we won't do a shutdown because we have to get the EPU fire. We don't have to get the ground power up. We'll just skip that whole phase and go right into the replay. Echo 8 to park. Line it up. That looks pretty good. How are we looking? A little bit off. That's because my field of view wasn't set right. Oh, I erped it. Erped it too short. We're short of the gate. Oh well. Erps are set. Erps in chat. Alright, live cam back is over here. We'll go replay cam here. We will disconnect from VATSIN. Let's take a look at this replay because I think this was pretty cool. I'm going to extend flaps full. 40 minutes left to your landing in Cuba. Ooh. Want to get it down so you can eat a load lot. Very nice. All right, flaps are full. Let's get our lights on. Right, let's watch this replay. I'm not going to say anything until I see the replay, but I have some suspicions. All right, replay mode. Let it load in here for a second. Is that Grapevine? All right, now let's, because I want to analyze what happened there, let's pause, zoom forward, zoom forward, zoom forward, zoom forward.
Speed, speed, speed.
Let's do it from right here. Resume.
500.
All right, so let's watch a cockpit view again here. Looking good. So right before we got over the threshold, we actually got a little bit high. Remember I said we're a little high over the threshold? We had a nice increase of performance followed by a decrease of performance. Let's see if that wind
50,
vector changes
40,
at all.
30, 20.
Definitely a gust there.
10, 5.
That felt pretty good. All right, so I think I know what's going on here.
Low terrain.
Let's watch it from outside. Nice rainbow, too. So we're pretty stable. We come over the threshold, and I just lose. The airplane goes into drop mode. I'm like, okay. Power comes to idle, and we have that. Now we've got a headwind component and had to extend the flare a little bit. So that was pretty, that felt pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like it doesn't look like your perfect stable landing over the numbers at 50 and then flare and touchdown. We were coming in, we were pretty stable. It was gusting from all varying directions. We knew that coming into it. But right before the headwind, or right before the approach lights here at the end of the runway, we got a little bit of a headwind, came a little bit high. So I wanted to bring power out a little bit. And then we got a little bit of a headwind gust that continued to push us. And we're like, oh boy, got to save it. And touch it down nice and smooth. That was pretty good. I mean, that is all. Oh, don't forget to release parking brake. Thanks. I had the parking brake on. I tell you what, for gusty conditions, that felt pretty good. You know, it's a little bit high, brought the power out, then it kind of slipped to, I lost that real quick, and then we got another headwind there, and that just made the airplane want to fly, want to float. Got to bring that power back and just kind of savor it. Use that touchdown zone. So we went from a near smash to floating, all in 25 feet. So honestly, guys, as ugly as it looks outside, because it's not right on the aiming markers, that's what these landings can end up looking like and feeling like. And when you have the luxury of a long touchdown zone, you can put it down. But if you remember in my podcast, we talked about going around before and landing outside of the touchdown zone, a situation that happened to me. So this is one where, you know, we were fortunate enough. We had a nice long touchdown zone. We were able to get the airplane's energy back down, stable enough inside that touchdown zone. Totally legal, nice and buttery smooth. But I got to hand it to Microsoft on the gust factors, because it really changes. Look at that. See how it just wanted to sink, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we're going to fly a little bit. A little bit of headwind component there with the ground effect. Really nicely done, I got to say. I mean, for years we complained about FSX and P3D being what? On rails, on rails, on rails. And honestly, this even makes X-Plane feel a little bit raily when I fly an approach like this, and I can feel myself actually having to combat wind gusts the same way I would combat them in real life. It's a whole different level of immersion, guys. I'm telling you, there's something about it that is just awesome, and we're so fortunate to be simmers in this time frame, because you can pick your sim of choice at this point, and they're all pretty dang good. But these little details like this, the varying wind gusts, the varying direction of wind gusts, awesome stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Javier says you should get the free mod for improving runway and apron lights. I will look up that, Javier. That kind of reminds me of like the mod we had for X-Plane 11, right? I will look that up, my friend. Thanks for that information. I will check it out. Guys, it's about time we wrap it up here. All my new members, courtesy of my membership donations, Cali Simmer, Q8 Pilot, to name a few. Anybody else who joined just as a new member themselves, any donations I received, you guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Everybody else who can't contribute monetarily, I can't thank you enough as well for just being here, being with us in chat, hanging out, hitting the like button, which is completely free. Thank you for the support, guys. Another shout out, last one, Roberto from Throttletek Hardware. I love it. Being able to, you heard the engines up and down that whole approach. I mean, I was moving them. Having that full range of motion just adds a whole different level of satisfaction and realism to the sim. So shout out again, Roberto at Throttletek. Thank you. Guys, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to go home. I'm going to fire up the smoker. I'm going to watch some Monday Night Football. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Mondays as well. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay dry. I'm V1. See ya!